Yes, this is a continuation of
Daniel
music.
Lindholm.
All right.
You gotta say it the right way.
Wow,
You gotta say his
okay.
name the
Game
right way.
music production,
Yeah,
part 2.
Part 2,
Sorry,
yes.
It's how it's supposed to be now.
You gotta dig down
Wow.
deep.
You don't have to go to hell.
Yes. Whether it's a beer, a shot, or even a glass of wine, grab your favorite beverage and welcome to the Level 857 Video Game Podcast. We are once again your hosts, Al G857.
This Hunt's the third stallion.
Sticks.
And your boy Big Chalk, what up?
And joining us once again for the second week in a row
Back to back.
to continue the conversation of video game music. Part 2.
Oh, I'm Daniel. Nice to meet you guys. Welcome out. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, man.
Welcome.
And you're in a enterprise right now, man. You're in a, It's like you're
Into space.
traveling somewhere.
Final
Looking
frontier.
down below.
We know you're quite busy, so, out there in space and all. So thank you for giving us the time.
I love what Star Trek is, and for diversity and cultures of all places. So that's kind of a little bit of like my life philosophy when it comes to music as well.
Nice.
So yeah, that's why I'm a little bit of a trekker.
Nice.
Why does it look more realistic than our setup?
Yeah.
It looks like our setup is
Yeah.
fake and his is more real than ours.
It's the lighting, man. It's the lighting.
I wish it was animated though. That's the
Yes,
only drawback.
that'd be cool.
Oh, that would be crazy. Like somebody walks in the background. And you're like, what?
They'll get shocked every time.
A red shirt coming in and get shot.
Yes, yes.
And they get shot, disappeared right behind you.
Yeah, right. Oh, man. But just like every week, we discuss the games we've been playing. Who'd like to begin?
I'll go first because it's like the same thing as last week.
Yeah.
Obviously, Smash Brothers. Me and Turbo actually competed in the WOT-WW tournament
Oh, yeah.
this time around. A lot different than last time because the people we fought last time weren't in it. These were a lot of killers. A lot of killers were in there. Kev finished third.
Really?
Kev finished third. I lost in the third round. Even the round that I won, I didn't feel like I was doing well. Like when your timing is off, I was still off even though I won. I'm like, I'm not gonna make it far in this. I'm like, I just don't feel like I have a grasp on either one of my characters right now. And then I lost to the two guys I lost to were the two guys who fought in the final.
Okay.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
but I got them down both to one life before. But it was just
Who'd you use?
I used Lucina, I used Marth, and I used Terry.
Okay.
Me in the first round, I fought this guy who picked Ryu. He was a very good Ryu, and I beat him with Lucina. He killed himself by accident in the first round, and on the second round, it was down to the last life, and I was Terry, and I caught him with like the dunking punch or what. It was a good match. I was like, I gotta fight him as Terry. It was a very dope match. But no, those guys are good, man. There are a lot of good guys on there. I gotta get better. I gotta play more. And other than that, I put a couple of hours in Horizon.
Okay.
Game is dope. Game is really good. Game is it's really impressive. Really, really impressive game.
Got snubbed for
no joke.
Yeah, what's that?
Got snubbed for game of the year.
Yeah.
I don't think it's as I'm playing it, I'm not done with it. I don't think it got snubbed.
It came out at the same time as Zelda.
I'm joking when
Yeah,
I say that
yeah.
because obviously it was well deserved. Breath of the Wild definitely deserved it, but
Yeah.
it just sucks that it came out the same freaking year.
When you go up against Breath, it's not even just. Not only is it Zelda you're going against, you're
Oh, no,
going up
it's-
against
yeah.
Breath of the Wild,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that game
It's definitely
is. You know me, I rarely play Zelda games. Like I'll play them here and there, but
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild was one of those gaming moments where it's just like, this is a masterpiece. Like it's a beautiful game, and I'm very happy I played it.
But Horizon is definitely
Horizon.
Sony's Breath of the Wild.
right.
Like, that's definitely their version of it.
And their map's not even that big, so I can only imagine when
The
the sequel's just gonna, it's such a great game, and I'm happy I'm playing it. I'll probably beat it by next week, but,
For next gen too, man.
and I need to, hopefully by next podcast I beat it because I need to talk about another game. But am I playing any co-ops? No.
We ain't get anything done this
No,
week.
we ain't get shit done.
We got third player controller not working.
we tried to get something done, but we didn't get shit
I was a
done.
lot of behind the scenes this week, man.
Yeah.
For everybody, we were all kind of jammed up
Yeah.
doing our own thing.
Trying to get this whole streaming stuff going.
Next
Yeah,
next
man.
week we'll get a lot of shit done. So,
Yeah.
but that's all I'm playing right now.
That's cool, man. I guess I'll go next because I'm only playing one thing. Obviously, like I said, we've been all busy working behind the scenes. And yesterday I had my Tetris Tuesdays stream. and I played one of the worst Tetris games, which
So you say.
one of
actually
one
liked
of the
watching
worst.
it. I like that one.
Oh, I'm sure it was entertaining watching it, but if you actually played, it was hard to
control.
describe. Tetris Splash, by the way, for the Xbox 360. It's a digital only game.
But would you
But-
blame it more the controller or the game?
It's the game itself. All right, my issues with the game. The music is fine,
Better than you thought.
but yeah, better than what I remember.
Yeah.
The problem with the game is the control. There's lag in the control, and it's very inconsistent. So other than that, it's a decent Tetris game. But you'll see in the stream if you guys watch it. Shameless plug. You'll see it in the stream. If you guys watch it,
I see what
you'll see how in the beginning, like I'm struggling to actually get control because it's like a 1 or 2 second delay when you press the button. But later on, towards maybe 40 minutes in, I start getting the hang of it, like on the timing of how to move.
Yeah.
But it gets real tough when it starts going real fast.
I look bad.
It was
Oh yeah,
hard.
that did look
It was-
pretty
it
intense.
was
I
tough.
saw that shit. I'm like,
And the timing was off, so I was like, I had to train myself to try to get used to that timing.
I would just say game over. I'm good.
That was the
game
biggest,
over. I'm good.
The biggest issue was that, and the second issue that I had with the game was that there was literally 2 modes, and it was just marathon mode and then 40-line mode, like
Easy
a speed
mode.
mode.
You did that in 2 minutes.
And then I'm looking for other stuff, and you'll see in the stream too. I'm looking what else do they have? They had
2 modes. They got 2 modes.
They had a wall. What was it? A screensaver mode. Because in the background you see
put the
this
fishy.
fish tank or whatever. So you could just have the fish tank, animated fish or whatever. I'm like,
But you can leave your
Wow.
opponents swimming with the fishes.
wow.
Oh,
yeah.
what opponents?
Yeah.
Ain't got no opponents.
Yeah, there's no
Need
one
Xbox
online.
Live,
There's nobody
man.
playing that fucking
They're
game.
always playing. Always playing.
But I planned on playing the other game, Tetris Evolution, which I haven't tried. I actually picked it up for cheap. And
It
I
evolved
wanted
into a game that didn't exist anymore.
to- Yeah, man.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, man.
It wasn't in the case.
I didn't have I don't know where I put it. I know I put it in a different game case, and I
It
have a
grew
lot of
legs.
games.
It grew legs.
And I have no idea what game case I put it in, or CD case. I don't know where.
in the Seaman case.
Oh,
Oh boy!
damn
Remember
that
that
game.
game?
But
nope, I don't remember that game at all.
It was
No.
terrible.
Nope.
You're the only one that played it.
Yep.
Yeah.
But that's all I play, man.
All right, I can go. What did I play? I played a bunch of old school stuff because I got a new show that started. Well, last Thursday it started. It was it's called Throwback Thursdays.
Yep.
So I got to plug my show too.
Yeah.
Basically, it's a show where I play anything that's not current generation. And because the day that it started, Nintendo announced the Mario All Stars 3D game. I played Mario 64, but I didn't play the original Mario 64. I played the homebrew version that they made for the PC and the Switch.
Did they officially remove that yet?
They did.
Okay.
Yeah,
Something
but
like they had to have got their hands on that.
But I have it,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
updated. The graphics and it's widescreen, and they did a lot more than Nintendo did
Damn.
to their update. It was kind of pissed me off about that update. But I played that. I mean, there's something about the camera, something that makes that game ridiculously hard on the one I was playing because I don't remember it being that hard. I'm gonna play the original one on Nintendo and see how different it is because I was fighting that game. Like I never even played Mario 64 in my life. And if you watch that stream, it's pretty embarrassing how bad I did on Mario 64.
Yeah.
But besides that, I played a quick game of Capcom versus SNK 2. I mean, I saw it there. I was like, why not? You just play through it. And that's a pretty dope game.
The art's dope on that.
Pretty
I
dope
like
game.
the sprites. They look
It's
very
weird
good.
because the graphics are, it's sprite on 3D backgrounds, and
Yeah.
that looks real weird on a high def TV because it definitely doesn't mesh. But I mean the game is still great. It's better than the one that SNK did. I don't like that one.
I like the way it looked though.
The art
But
did look good in
I'm
that
not,
one.
but I heard
bad.
it played
But
a
the
little.
gameplay was
I heard it was
not
a little rough.
not good on Neo Geo's
Yeah.
side. But yeah, that's about all. I have games that I did want to play that will get played this week because I bought Tony Hawk 1 and 2, the remake, and that's gonna be dope. I just gotta remember how to play it.
Vic was trying to play that.
Yeah,
Dude, I
yeah.
forgot about
Everyone
that game.
forgot how to play
Yeah.
that, man.
I forgot about that game.
I did
love
play
that
it back
game.
in the day, and it was fun, but I don't
Yeah.
remember all the button combinations. Man, believe me.
I'd rather watch Skate or Die.
Yeah, that's
Nah, I like when the head pops off when you fuck up the move.
I'll play that too.
Was that
any
part
day.
2? That's part 2,
Yeah, it's
right?
part 2.
When your head pops off.
Hated that game.
Maybe on Throwback Thursday.
Hey, yo,
one
bust it
time.
out. Bust it out. man.
Not next one, not the next one.
hated
But
that game.
and I got Avengers, but I'm trying to decide what system to get it on. I bought it for PS4. This guy got it for Xbox. I want to get some multiplayer going. You can't do it like that. So no one else got it. So I got to take mine
You
back.
know what? You know what's all messed up though, because Beardy got the PS4 one.
Yep.
So and he's like, yeah, he's down for the
He's down
co-op.
with it, yeah.
Chalk's got the Xbox.
You ruined everything.
Kev is not getting it
He's
because
not
it's,
getting
it's too pricey. I'm in limbo. Like, all right, if this person's not getting it, what the fuck do I do then? And I'm like,
You gotta get the Xbox one.
ah,
Because now you got 3 players at least.
Man,
you can't just
listen.
have 2 players.
man,
Then
listen.
you'll have
Pressure. Pressure's on there. Comments. Y'all wanting to get the game, see 3 players? Y'all want 3 players? Y'all want 3 players or 2? Let us know in the comments.
Two players. That's what you
I
want.
played Avengers on the C64 back in 1980.
Commodore Avengers
Captain
don't have
America,
nothing
Iron
on
Man, that's it.
There's no Iron Man in that one.
No, there's nobody now. I don't even know who's in that one. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna play those titles next week. But that's just a sneak peek.
Okay. Well, I played Avengers. I couldn't take that game out of my console all weekend.
Yeah, it's good. It's good stuff.
No, like with the exception of Fighter Fridays. Actually, I'll start with Fighter Fridays. That's my show that I stream every Friday. I play
Awesome.
fighting games or beat 'em ups or whatever. I play Dragon Ball. I finally ranked up to a Majin,
Surprise!
Nice.
Surprise!
which was that was a good fight. Like the person I was fighting, it was a good fight.
Yep.
Yeah, it was good fights. So I beat them. I think 5 out of 7 matches.
That's the win right there.
That's definitely
5 out of 7.
5 out of 7. That's
That means you
not
took
bad.
home the world title.
I'll take that. I'll take that from anybody.
Then it took a turn because I tried out my new squad: Krillin, Piccolo, and Yamcha.
Oh no, that ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen.
Try to be brave, man.
That ain't gonna
Nah,
happen.
no, they're good characters. They just need a little bit more work. I mean, from on my side, practice wise. But I got a couple of wins with them, not ranked. I was playing casual at that point. But this one dude just murdered me repeatedly. I think it was like 10 times straight. It was bad.
So if you lose that many times, do you drop in rank or you just stay?
I was only playing casuals. When I ranked up, I was playing with my main squad.
Yeah.
and I just played ranked.
So you would
with them.
never take that squad into a ranked
Oh,
match?
no.
Okay.
No way.
So when you're practicing,
For
you do
fun.
the casual.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So we got stomped. Stomped. But back to Avengers. I love that game. Love it. Love it.
Everyone's good or
It's just so fun. There's so much charm in that game. Like with Captain America, he has a move where he can throw his shield.
Spoiler alert. I'm just kidding.
It bounces off of multiple targets, and if you can unlock a move further into the skill tree. When it's coming back, you can kick it back out.
I saw that. I saw that.
And
I saw
Does
that.
I can do this all day?
no, I
Come on,
wish
man.
you did.
They need.
But you have
that's
to
probably-
pay
that's
$10 to get it, right?
Yeah, you probably have to buy that. I would buy that. Too.
If you want this move,
Yeah.
you gotta take that $10 out your pocket.
And there's so much charm. Like you throw Thor's hammer, you pin somebody against the wall, you're punching somebody else, you call the hammer back and knock out another person with it.
God of
Like,
War.
God of War type shit.
God of War
Yeah,
type
God of
shit.
War.
It's great. And
That's cool.
Hulk,
Yeah.
Hulk literally picks up a piece of the ground, starts swinging it at people. It's dope. It's so dope.
Yeah. Who's your favorite? Thor.
I'm torn between Thor and Iron Man.
Yeah.
Iron Man.
Wow.
Oh, you didn't
Iron
like
Man
it. You
was
weren't
good?
crazy about Iron Man
Yeah,
before,
I
right?
remember
I
that.
wasn't, but no. Now that I've played with him
I see.
and I inverted the flight controls, and he's
Really?
so dope.
He looks like he plays very fun.
He
He really does.
So fun. He has smart missiles, like you can tag multiple targets.
And they can't do Superman. Damn it.
And
Yeah.
and
I'll
Hulk-
figure that out.
yo,
Why
and the
do
Hulk
these
Buster.
rings?
Those
How-
crazy rings. He hasn't recovered from those rings, man.
60. What was it,
How
67
intricate is
rings?
the upgrading system?
It's pretty in depth.
A lot of stuff going on there.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, combined with the gear and the skills,
Oh.
there's a lot going on.
Oh, wow.
But you get rewarded for playing though. Decently. You get rewarded decently for
Oh
playing.
yeah, absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. So
Okay.
you don't have to buy any cosmetics because you unlock a pretty nice chunk just by playing through the game.
Okay.
But they do have exclusive
Oh, yeah,
stuff
absolutely.
you gotta buy.
yeah.
And
Like they did with Shadow of War when they
But you-
first came out.
Yeah.
you
They
don't
did the
have
same
to, like,
shit.
honestly, you don't have to buy it because you get,
No, I ain't
like,
gonna
as
buy it.
long as you
It's fine.
play with the characters, you'll get hooked up with good costumes.
Okay.
You know, but if you want to buy like the wild and super,
I'm not gonna get
exotic ones,
Cosmic Spider-Man though. I want cosmic, like diamond-plated Spider-Man.
Diamond plates.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember that guy? One
Yeah.
comic he had.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't really need to buy any gear. I mean, you can buy it with in-game currency, so it's all
On
good.
the Xbox One, is there Gears of War?
Oh my God.
Oh dear God! All right, so
Wow.
Dan,
been
what are you
cool.
playing, man?
It would have been
Daniel.
It would have been
Yeah,
cool though.
yeah. What are you
What's
playing, Dan?
Daniel?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Damn.
The new
Well,
Kev, I swear.
Exclusive.
Well, since we're like in a little bit break from Fallen City Brawl, I was picking up a few beat 'em ups and fighting games last week, and I was sitting down and playing Violent Storm, a Konami beat 'em up, which really great music, really cool moves. But I played not the version that I grew up with, which is the European version, where actually there's no blood or anything in it. So I switched the emulator to the UAB, which I believe is a North American release. That has a lot of blood in it. And extra moves. You can actually kick people when they're down, which you couldn't do in the European version. So,
Why they censor that?
You always got to kick
So-
people when they're down.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, fight with
Yeah.
honor.
Especially in a game.
yeah, I mean, there are a lot of people against you, but I really love to play as Kyle. He's a more kick-based fighter in the game. So I really dig his fast kicks, Chun-Li super attack. So very cool. And then just to get myself into the mood for Fallen City Brawl when we continue to work, I played Art of Fighting 2.
Oh,
that's
nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I really love all the environments and the music from the Neo Geo cabinet, so that's pretty nice. And then I was rounding off the week with King of Fighters 98, which I think is the pinnacle of perfect pixel and gameplay all the way through. I think that one is a masterpiece.
Yes.
And I always team up with Terry Bogart,
Terry.
Robert Garcia,
Yes.
and Kim Kapuan,
Oh,
or
okay.
sometimes
Okay.
Iori Yagami. Yeah, these
Yeah.
three dudes are my guys.
Iori's my character, man. And
Yeah.
And
Iori's
Ralph could be also in there. So
Ralph
I
is,
also
what is he, the Kari Warrior?
yeah,
yeah.
Okay.
bandana guy.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Oi,
yes.
totemo kukui. Yeah, that's right.
Cool, man.
Come on.
I've always been a big fan of Terry, Andy, and Joe Higashi.
No, you gotta have Iori.
Nice.
You gotta have the
Team
crazy.
Italy.
I remember
That's the
more
one in the
music
first
from
game.
Neo Geo.
I see. There's music to be
Andy,
remembered, man.
Andy and Joe don't get enough love, man. So
Nah.
it's always Terry. It's always Terry.
Rio
Terry.
is
Yeah.
garbage.
Who?
Rio?
Oh, the fake Ken?
Yeah, I didn't like
Oh, that's
him.
Art of Fighting.
I love Rio.
You like Rio?
Yeah.
He said the fake Ken.
He's definitely a fake
Yeah, he's
kid.
the fake kid,
He's
yeah.
definitely a fake kid.
It was
He's
the other
probably
guy.
a good way
He's
to
more
repent
like a
now.
fake Ryu.
He's probably a cooler Ken than Ken is now. Ken in Street Fighter 5,
I mean,
man.
Whoa.
If I had
so-
to choose between Ryu from Street Fighter or Ryo Sakazaki from King of Fighters or Art of Fighting, I really like when you're getting your desperation move in King of Fighters. He just goes and nails you 100 beats in your face and kicks. I'm like, oh, that's so beautiful. But Ryu, just one lousy little fireball and that's it.
That was one of the first
5 hits
special
only
move, right?
in
Yeah.
Super Street Fighter 5. Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Yeah.
Nah, Chun-Li did the kick
yeah.
better.
But I understand
finish it
some
off.
people didn't like the spirit gauge in Art of Fighting, and that's when you're running out and Dan, of course, is in Street Fighter is the cartoon version of Ryo Sakazaki. So, but
Better
I'm
version.
happy that it's coming back though. So,
It's a better version of him. Yeah.
Yeah.
They put him and actually made him stronger. In the
Dan?
SNK versus
They did?
Capcom,
Dan?
the SNK version, they made Dan pretty damn strong in that game.
What?
Because they knew he was a joke in the Capcom series, so they made him strong as hell in the SNK one.
Throw
That's
everyone for a
cool.
loop. Like, you picked Dan.
Different universe.
And then you get rocked. Yeah.
But they put a fake Sakura in theirs. I don't know if she was weak or not.
I
fake
remember
Sakura.
that
Yeah,
character.
in
I
the
forgot the
SNK
name
version.
though.
Yeah, they had like a schoolgirl.
Yes.
Yeah. But
yeah. So that's what I've been dealing with last week.
Nice, man.
You gotta find a Neo Geo online game so we can fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's a sad thing that Nintendo released Neo Geo games on there, but no online support except for the scoreboard.
Yeah.
It always has to be a local multiplayer, which I don't have any friends. It gets really hard to have any fun with the game. So I was looking at it as study material.
Well, when we get to Japan, you gotta stop by.
Hell
and,
yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Throw down a little fight.
We gonna
Definitely,
get out there.
We'll do some co-op.
When this shit ends, we gonna get out to
Yeah,
Japan.
they shut down Club Sega, but Club Hey is still open. That's where all the Street Fighter legends come down to play there. So.
Oh, Club Sega, I forgot. That's gone. Jeez, that was
Yeah.
a dope place, man.
Club Sega.
Yeah, it's huge.
It's a theme park for arcade games.
Huge arcade.
Oh jeez,
That's the one with different floors, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Club Sega has like 6 floors. But if there's a place you should check out as a virtual, Sega has actually a virtual amusement park in Odaiba called Joypolis. It's all virtual rides and stuff you can, and even an incredible version of Initial D with 2 real live car-sized cockpits, and that's pretty cool.
That sounds dope. But I want a Space Harrier jetpack. Though.
Oh shit, yeah.
Play that in VR. If you could play that in VR, that'd be
dude.
crazy.
That
If
would
you
be
could
scary.
fly
I don't know,
around.
man. I'd be freaked out.
I'd
about
probably
that.
throw up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably
I would throw up so fast.
Freaky.
You'll know you're in the future. Though.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh,
When
this is crazy.
when that
No, but they got to keep the
1986
polygons
game
and
is good. Yeah, I don't even know when that was. It 86? I don't even know. But that's how you know
Space
you're in the
Harrier 86, Space Harrier 2 is 87, I believe. So yeah, they're very neat.
You know what it's time for, right?
You guys ready for?
shots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell them why we're doing shots.
This is a podcast 130, so every 10 we do shots, man.
It's not like we've been keeping count. We've done shots on many others.
I don't. That's not true.
Yeah, go back
As
and
he,
watch.
freaking lying.
You gotta show me proof, man. You gotta show me proof.
Just go back and watch.
Yeah. Let's
Cheers.
watch.
All right, cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers,
So
Daniel.
130.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Woohoo, I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's an
it's there.
invisible
It's
cup.
there.
It's funny with the green screen. It's an invisible cup.
That was good.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
It was bad.
Well, that's why I don't drink alcohol.
Look at this guy over here.
Wasn't bad at all.
I somehow don't believe you.
Yeah,
Why?
it's all an act. It's all an act.
He's just putting on a show. He's just putting on
Yeah,
a
it was
show.
water. It was
The
water.
one time y'all told everybody to watch me, I didn't have any reaction. That was great.
Time for the news.
Dude. Yeah, let's do the news right
Why?
now
Oh,
while you're
right
dying.
while he's dying.
Why?
Yeah, you throw up the news
Why would
right
you
when
do
he's
the news
dying.
right now?
Yeah, man.
God.
Yeah, there you go.
Hold on, Chaser.
Let's get in on it.
What's that?
Come on. Why would you do this to me?
Why not?
Why?
It
All
was
right.
tasty. I liked it.
Okay. Scalpers are already selling pre-orders of Super Mario 3D All-Stars.
Scum.
Could you believe it? Yep. So that happened. The news of the Mario games happened right when we did our podcast. So it's a little late on us actually getting reactions to that news.
Right.
So how do you feel about the actual announcement that Nintendo made of it?
I just don't understand why it's a limited time. Why is it a limited time
Well,
only? Like,
For
We'll
the,
get to that.
yeah.
But how do you feel about the games that they have in the collection?
I mean, I don't care for Mario Sunshine.
Not many do.
Yeah, I mean, I think we owned it. Yeah, I think Turbo got it, and I played it for a bit. And it would be cool if it was like maybe just a stage in a Mario game, you know, with the water pack and everything. But
Or
like
just an item.
yeah, full
Right.
game. No, I wasn't crazy about it. Galaxy, I never played. I heard that was dope. Mario 64, I didn't play much N64, so like none of those games really didn't really care about any of them. But I heard 64 was dope, and I heard Galaxy was dope,
Well, I'm surprised that there's only 3 titles, first of all.
and that they left out Galaxy too.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
Yes.
I'm actually kind of excited that Galaxy is on it, which is why I'm looking forward to getting it.
Yeah.
But that's the only reason why I'm getting it.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way to play it on my Switch. I do, like you said, Galaxy 2 wasn't on it.
Yeah, one that's
I'm
weird.
kind of surprised, but I'm hopeful that they're gonna release, it separately, like they're doing with Mario World.
It's rumored that they might.
So, but I'm happy with this. It's a step in the right direction. However, I never owned a GameCube or an N64,
Me neither.
and I've never played both Mario 64 or
I played all of them.
or Sunshine. I've never played
I
those.
play mostly co-op Mario games
But-
nowadays than
I haven't
single
played any
player.
of those.
I absolutely love Mario Galaxy, man. That series,
I heard that was
my
one
favorite.
of the best.
My favorite 3D Mario series.
I don't have a problem with them releasing, these 3 titles as one. It's Nintendo. I'm surprised they even putting them together.
Right.
It still doesn't compare to Mario All-Stars, the first
No,
one.
no.
Not even close.
No.
But I was a little disappointed because they didn't upgrade anything other than the resolution, so they just remastered them. Basically,
I was actually a little disappointed in that too.
So Mario 64.
Yeah, I'm not a graphics person, but I thought,
Mario
especially
60
if you're coming from the
Get a
N64,
bump.
Well,
you got to
exactly. It looked exactly.
buff. You got to
like
buff something,
that.
man. You have to.
It looked like a smoother version of
Yeah.
it, but the polygons and stuff were still the same.
Nah, you got to buff that.
And like I said when I played it on Throwback Thursday, the homebrew one
It's better.
had a new rendered Mario who looked like the new game, and the resolution was 1080p, and it was widescreen. And it's surprising that Nintendo took the route that they did. I mean, I guess they wanted to be like, pure for the purist, and they wanted to keep it exactly the same. But they could have had a mode where you hit the button and boom, it looks new or newer, because obviously that game has been around for a very long time.
Well, if you compare it to the original, the Mario All Stars series, like the first one for
They
Super
upgraded
Nintendo,
every one of those.
they had they had every one of them, and they also had Mario Lost Levels, which was
They had
actually
the
Mario
special.
2
Yeah,
in Japan, but over here it was
so they put a bonus in there too.
yeah. So
for the same $60 price,
but that's what I'm saying. Like
$50 price.
that's where I was going to compare. Like if you compare the two, if they could have done that as a bonus,
Yeah,
to agree with you, they could have done that, definitely done that.
They should have buffed it.
because Mario
Or
Sunshine
added as a bonus or something.
looks better. I mean, the games look better. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But Mario Galaxy without Mario Galaxy 2 was the big letdown. Especially since if they added that, it would have been like, oh, this is the definite, the definitive 3D one. And, they're not releasing Mario.
Not unless they have other plans for it, which I can't imagine why.
Right.
If they're going to charge
yeah.
you $60 for it, they have other plans for it.
They
Right.
have to.
Right.
But the fact that they announced that it is, they said 2 weeks it's out. They said, well, actually, we get this news. I got this news from Eurogamer.net.
I know
Yeah.
you're a gamer.
Yeah, we'll have the link on the.
Yeah, we got to give them, we got to shout them out.
Yeah.
But, they said that it's only going to be out for a limited time. And that damages the sales of the game. I mean, it helps the sales of the game. Don't get me wrong. They'll sell out of the game ridiculously.
Right.
And, Nintendo's probably like, we don't care. We just want to sell the game. And for the fan, that hurts because now scalpers are doing what they're doing right now and are buying all of them. And people aren't even aware or even able to pre-order anymore for it. In certain areas, like in Europe and stuff, they can't even pre-order anymore because there's too many pre-orders
Why do you think it's a limited time type of thing?
to make it.
Well, they did the same with the Nintendo has a history of doing that. They did it with the NES Mini, and they did it with the
Well, they don't
with
care that
their
it's
mini
making the money. They care that
Right.
they put it in scarcity to make it sell more, to get rid of more. I don't understand that philosophy.
I still don't get it either.
It's
'Cause
an
it's not like
artificial-
they're hurting for money. It's
well, the
like,
way Nintendo makes their sales is
Yeah.
through like titles that sell beyond like the year and the year and the year. They'll sell constant millions, and this is a Mario game.
Yeah.
So you think, 10 mil, 15 mil, easy, 20 mil, easy.
Yeah.
So if they do that, say they made, I don't know how the constraints are with everything that went on this year, but say they did 20 mil and they said, all right, we're only putting it out for 3 months. We want to sell 20 mil 3 months. And they'll sell them all. They'll sell them all. But the fact that people are selling their pre-orders, which is highly illegal on eBay, because you can sell your pre-order. I don't see how, because that's against the rules. It's always been. But it's been going on for a while that they can buy the pre-order and sell their pre-order for like 3 times, 4 times the price.
That's
of what it is.
crazy.
And because people can't get it and know that it's going to be scarce, like what is scarce? Is it going to be only 5 million? Like that's not really scarce.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not going to be like, there's only 7 or 100 of these out in the wild. I don't know what the people think scarce is, but they said digital and the physical release will be gone. Gone. You can download. Obviously, if you buy the digital one, you can download it again. But the fact that you won't be able to get this title at all,
I don't know.
I put my pre-order in.
Same here.
And I'll probably buy the digitals, and I'll probably not open this one just because
Well,
it might be worth the money that I can get back for it. I mean, am I
pre-ordered-
wrong? I might be wrong for doing that, but You know,
And then you sell
they
it for
did
3 times the price. I'm just
Exactly.
kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
They did it to me. They told people that it was not going to be available, so I pre-ordered
Yeah.
it the second I heard that. And I'm sure everyone did.
I don't
but
know the
Scalpers
reason.
did it too.
I don't know the reasoning behind it.
I didn't buy
I
10
honestly
of
don't
them.
know.
I didn't buy 20 of them.
Right.
I didn't buy 50 of them.
But
But
that's how
what
you get the
Scalpers do.
cheese.
Exactly.
I would
Exactly.
say, I mean, like I'm looking at the picture. Some guys raised up the price to 200 British pounds. That's
crazy.
ridiculous, you
Too
know.
much.
That's insane, man.
I mean, I will not buy it unless you have Grand Theft Mario on it.
Now that's an idea.
Yeah, man.
That was what they had there in the original. We went to Dunk City. Remember?
Oh, really?
When he went to Dunk City and he had the cars around him.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
And it was like, that's
Grand
Grand
Theft
Theft
Mario.
That's
Mario.
Mario.
But yeah. it
We
was
gotta
worth it.
save the princess. I need some coins.
He originally had a gun, man. Remember that?
Oh, I'll kill you.
Yes, that's right.
Instead of the fireball,
the
he had a
fireball.
gun.
I'll
Yeah.
kill you.
Yes.
Imagine that.
I would buy it.
A Mario
I'd
Grand
buy
Theft.
it in 2 seconds. I would.
Yeah,
They did. They put him in.
Hell
They put him in
yeah.
Grand Theft as
Yeah.
a fake, like a
I want to hear the
mod.
voice
Easter
like
egg.
saying
Oh,
some
they
shit.
They put him in a computer mod one. Yes.
No, I need to hear him saying some fucked up shit with that voice. Like I need him cursing. I need him like vulgar, inappropriate. I'm
You
buying
killed
that.
my brother.
You killed my brother.
Oh no, he's soaking his own ragu. Oh,
It wasn't a me.
He goes to like the strip club. Oh, how much? Oh.
Well, these scalpers are really getting people by charging them that much, and I don't think it's right. And I don't think Nintendo should have announced that they were not going to have enough, or just going to cut off the title.
Yeah.
They should have told you that after it's sold.
I would think they would sell more if they just made it available forever.
They should have did it like the month they were going to get rid of it. Say, hey, we're going to get rid of it this month. After everybody bought it normally and all that.
puzzling move to me. Puzzling,
Yeah,
very
same.
puzzling.
Exactly.
I don't understand it.
Cash grab.
But before we jump to the next one, I'll be back.
that's right.
Oh, wait, you gotta use the bathroom again?
Oh, wow.
Really?
That bladder, man.
I told you to wear a diaper.
That bladder.
Oh, not like him. Yeah, you know who I'm talking about.
Chuck, anything going on in the chat, sir?
No, it's kind of quiet. Oh, what?
Hey.
Oh, wait.
Generational gamer. Why would somebody buy a scalped copy when pre-orders are still available? People are scalping the pre-orders.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
So
which
that's,
is weird.
That's what
man.
the issue
I
is.
still don't understand.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like, Nintendo doesn't like need money like that. Like,
No, they
for
don't.
like something to do something like that. Like, what's the agenda behind it?
I understood it when they didn't, although they didn't do it. They did it for their mini consoles, which was the.
That makes sense.
That made sense because they only had a limited supply of
Like-
physical consoles,
Yeah.
and
I don't.
and
get
people
it.
were also scalping that too. But this is different because this is physical and digital.
Yeah, it's
Like if you were talking about just the physical copies of it, and they did that with just the physical copies, that makes sense.
yeah.
But why digital?
Yeah, limited for physical.
And
Yeah,
physical.
yeah. It's
Like
still,
at least if they're gonna do it, just do it for the physical copies.
I don't
Obviously,
get it.
we know we're in a pandemic. Probably production is it's tough to make
Yeah.
copies and stuff. But the digital version
They'll have. Man.
It doesn't make sense.
doesn't make any
Well,
sense.
you know what?
at all.
I just thought this.
Huh.
So they're gonna get double the sales off everybody buying this title because they're gonna buy it like physically and
Okay.
keep that one pristine, and they're gonna buy it digitally if they want to play it. So now each person that bought it counts as 2. That's crazy.
Those are super.
That's crazy. Now, if you're a fan of the game and you don't want to open the real one, yeah.
I mean, I know some people that do that.
Or they'll buy 2 over 1, but why open
Yeah.
one when you can just buy the
They
digital?
want to keep the golden ticket and sell it a lot higher.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are gonna. So yeah, they're smart. They're smart about it. But they're scumbags also.
Yeah.
That kind of practice is very.
Nintendo don't need to do that, man.
No, they don't.
They make the sales.
Artificial inflation.
At least a year. It was not. It's not even a year. They said in March.
Yeah.
Generational gamer was saying that they might re-release it afterwards without all the bells and whistles. They did the same thing for the Wii version of Mario All Stars.
What bells and whistles?
yeah, right.
There's no bells and
DLC.
whistles in this thing. Unless they do the Disney
That's what we've
route,
seen.
put it in the vault.
There was something I did read today about
then take it out.
Mario Galaxy in portable mode. One of the biggest features is how, because it's motion controls and all that, is how
You can
how to
toss
do the
game
spin move
across,
or whatever.
You can spin it around in your hand.
Well, no, they had a solution for it, and I didn't get through the entire article, but they did have a solution from what I read in portable mode on how to do that, because there's certain motion controls from the Wii that were kind of confusing. How the heck is it going to translate to console?
They'll do something different. They'll do something different for the what you call it too. So the water physics.
It still remains to be seen, like what. You know.
Well, they said the Mario 64 edition is going to be the Shinduo edition. Oh, Shinduo edition. Yeah, that's Japanese for the international edition, and that's when they changed him from saying, "What is it?" So he says, "Bye-bye." Okay. Instead of "So long, King of Bowser."
So long, King of Bowser.
That's it.
Which is a meme that we won't get into because they think he said something else, but he doesn't. But but they're using that one, it seems, on the Mario 64 version.
Oh, I remember.
Yes,
you can't go into that. But besides them remastering it to 720, I mean, I wish it would have been 1080. You know, something.
Okay.
But let us know in the comments what you think about
It's
this.
a puzzling move to me still.
This cash grab, this Mario 3D All Star.
It's very EA-ish.
It's a cash grab.
Yeah.
And speaking of EA,
Terrible segment.
come on, that was perfect.
That was a bad segment.
Come on.
Mine was way smoother.
Yeah, if you went straight into it, that would have been fine.
You got posed with the shit. Come on, man.
EA, Itamiya.
To me, EA.
Yay! See, that's the segue.
There you go. It's a me, EA.
What's a me? Hey, what?
Okay, let's All right.
Oh, man.
EA responds to fan backlash to in-game ads in UFC 4.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Oh, shit.
So these advertisements went live just so actually we got this from Eurogamer also.
Yes.
These adverts went live just 2 weeks after UFC 4 came out on the 14th of August 2020. So people aren't too happy about this.
No.
I can imagine.
So what they did was they added this is the wrong way to do things because
You can see it right there, man.
well, yeah. But the thing is in the review copies of this game, this wasn't in it. So when they get their points and say, "Oh, this game is great," blah blah blah, no ads, no nothing.
Oh, so they couldn't even. Wow.
And
They
then
didn't
2
review
weeks
it.
later, after the reviews came out, in a shady move, they just slid
The
it in
update
there. It
comes
was
out.
like, "Here you go, here goes some ads for you." So I mean,
Let's get
I
some more
saw
money.
it. I saw it. It wasn't terrible. It was a flash during your replay. It wasn't during gameplay.
Right.
It said, "Look, check it out." Boom, it's gone, and you're showing the replay, kind of like a TV type presentation, but not quite. But it was very fast. And then after the replay, it pops up again, and boom, boom, boom. It's an ad though. But what pissed me off about it was, you know how when you're watching the show, and the ad pops up on the bottom, and it's like
In the corner.
there.
Yeah. Little corner.
Yeah. So while they were fighting, after that, I said, okay, that's passable. Whatever you want to get that in there, whatever, go ahead. It pops up again while they're fighting, right after you saw it, and I was
Yeah.
like, yo, that's too much. That's
Yeah,
too
no.
many ads in a row.
It's becoming sleazy.
I was like, are we gonna watch
Too
the
much.
boys? Don't worry about it. We're
Right.
gonna watch the boys. it's don't need to show it 3 times
Yeah.
in a minute. Like that's too much.
No, that's.
You know what? It's if they figure out a creative way to
They
put ads
have.
in, like product placement. No, well,
They put it
Shenmue
in
had
the
it.
background.
Shenmue was the first game that I played.
It's in
that-
an
that had
octagon.
it.
They put it on the octagon or something.
Yeah,
Anywhere.
well,
on the floor, it could just change
if
for a
it-
second.
as long as it's subtle
Yeah.
and it's not like distracting,
That was
I don't have a
very
problem with
distracting.
it. But yeah, that definitely.
But I mean,
from what we've
when
seen
I first
here,
saw it though, people were overreacting. I was like, that was it. That was it. It was like boop boop.
nah, but there's more.
But
than
that's
that.
it. But then when it popped out, I was like, nah, you're killing me with this
Yeah,
ad
yeah.
here. So,
That's
you know,
bad.
did I watch the show? Yeah, I watched the show. nah, the ad worked.
That's before the damn game.
Yeah.
I didn't need the ad to watch the show.
I didn't
So-
watch the show.
But, you know, they said they did, they had to respond to people because this is such a big backlash. So they said, it's abundantly clear from your feedback that integrating ads into the replay and overall experience is not welcome. The advertisements, they've been disabled by the team, and we apologize for any disruption to the gameplay the players may have experienced. And they said, we realize this should have been communicated with players ahead of time, and that's on us. We want to make sure our players have the best possible experience playing EA Sports UFC 4. So ad integration and the replay and overlay experience will not be reappearing in the future.
They always get called out on some shit.
They did.
And they're always like, okay, we'll get rid of it. My bad.
And then they sneak it in somehow in the
And
future.
then they sneak in something else. Okay, my bad. I'm sorry.
Oh, you
I'm
got
sorry,
me.
I'm
You
sorry,
got
I'm
me. I won't do
You know
it
what that
again.
reminds me? EA reminds me of a dude that's on a date that is touching a female inappropriately. It's like, oh, my bad. I didn't know. It's date 1. I didn't mean to touch you there. My bad. And then like later on in the date, oh, my bad. I'm sorry again. My bad.
again.
That's EA.
I thought we were here. I thought we had this.
I thought you were giving me the signs.
After 2 weeks, that's like more than 3 days. Come on.
I spent like $200. Can I? No. Okay. My bad. That's EA.
I got the bill.
I already paid for the bill. No,
got the bill.
That doesn't get me. No. Okay. My bad. That's EA.
EA is getting me too.
Oh my!
But
It's like me walking to a guy's hairy armpit. It's really that bad.
They got rid of it.
Yeah,
though.
we're still standing in the queue. We're going for the same goal, but hell, it smells bad.
They always want to like test the limits of where they can go.
Of course.
Yeah.
Because if nobody said anything, like, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, we can do this. Oh,
Like, they didn't say anything in Need for Speed
Let's
when
look
we
at
had the
it.
signs in the background. They didn't say nothing there.
Let's put some more ads in there.
How do we make sure this actually works and gets them to,
Kills
actually
me.
see it? How much do they get
Need
for
for
those
Speed
ads?
Underground had those very son ads or whatever it was because it was part of the world, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that would work, but in this case, just having pop-ups for I don't know what the voice is, so even if we get the game over here in Japan, that would have no relevance for us. So we just look at that. Oh, they're trying to emulate a TV presentation, which I know that all sports games try to do. So maybe here in Japan, we might not pay attention to it, but now coming from your part of the world, it's like, yeah, that sounds really annoying.
Oh,
Like,
no,
we
think about
always
it.
add somewhere
it's
else.
going to be
They put
regional.
a different ad.
Yeah, it's going to be regional. So in Japan, it would be whatever ad is, paying them in Japan. So
Okay,
it'd be like
I just want to ask you,
something
from my
relevant.
ignorance, what is The Boys? Is it related to sports?
It's like a superhero show.
It's a TV show on Amazon Prime.
No relation.
Okay, so that's really stupid then. So if they could have like real sponsors like Adidas or Nike or whatever who supports the sport.
Or actual UFC.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
The next UFC
Like,
comes on
next
tonight.
upcoming fight in a few
That
weeks
would
from
make
here. Boom.
more
That would be
sense.
great.
Yeah, actually, that's actually a good
Advertise
idea.
their own pay-per-views.
Yeah,
What the fuck?
if they integrated that with online and their actual
It wouldn't be that much
pay-per-views.
backlash if they would advertise their own
Right.
shit.
So there'll be fans of it.
Yeah,
Anyway.
but
Right, obviously
advertising the Smurfs?
Yeah, it's like
If they're fighting,
That would make sense.
because
if
it's
they're
funny
gonna
that it's like you see the boys like what does that have to do
Money.
with yeah like no but it's like
It's money.
it's just so standout. It's like come on, you
Right.
guys are just like everything is cash grab. Everything is just
Exactly,
cash.
But
money,
the thing
money,
is,
money, money.
The only way this would be acceptable, I'll tell you what. If the game was $20 and they said this is the ad inclusive version, this has ads in it. This is $20 instead of $60.
$40 has no ads.
$60 has no ads.
Yeah.
The normal pay.
$60, yeah, because
The
it's
normal pay. The regular game price.
Damn, chopping off that much for no ad, for
But I'm
ads.
saying if there's ads,
they get their money back.
They get mad dough.
they
for
get their money
ads.
back.
I'm just saying.
They get
Because
their
the thing
money
is,
back in
they're
ads.
getting paid their regular price for these games,
Right.
and they're putting in ads that they're getting paid for also. I mean, I'm all for them getting paid, but you gotta give some of those savings off to the customer if you're doing
Right. I agree. $20 ads might be okay, or a free-to-play game. That's where
That's
that
where it
would
Well,
works.
make
free to play
sense.
would be extreme, but
That's but that's where it
But
works.
for
though.
six-
$60, I agree. This is outrageous.
Right.
yeah, because
It's like, oh, you don't want the
Speaking of
ads?
Amazon,
Here's how much.
Speaking of Amazon, they had the phones where you can get like a free phone that has ads built into the lock screen.
Yes.
I remember they used to have
Yes,
that.
I remember
And I
that.
was like, oh, I would never do that. I'd buy
Yeah.
the phone for $200, whatever.
I can
Right.
rock with that.
But if you didn't
I
have
need
the
to call
money,
911, but no, you have to watch it.
here's an ad.
Skip this ad after 15 seconds.
Here's an ad for
I'm getting
Chicago.
stabbed.
I just got stabbed 5 times.
Are you trying to watch Chicago
Fucking ad!
911? The TV show, come on. 911 the TV show.
911 TV show? Yes, sure. 8 o'clock every
Reno.
Tuesday. No, I
It
didn't.
seems like you're interested in our program. No, we're not. We're trying to live. All right, Grey's Anatomy on at 8 o'clock. What? No.
Oh, my God.
But yeah, that's the only way the ads are acceptable is you give it
Yeah.
to us for free. You gotta do it
Yeah.
the mobile route. $20 extreme tops. Like That's it. You can't charge full price and get away with all this stuff.
Nah, man.
For any game.
Or at an extreme discount.
Yeah, you can't charge full price and
They're
do this for any
getting,
game.
they're getting a lot of money from the ads, man. They're
Yo,
getting-
EA killing me every year with
Listen,
some shit, man. EA all the time.
They don't care.
These companies,
They took it away. They took it away.
year.
They took it away. It's done.
No,
Last
Never
week-
happened.
They test it out every time. They're like, let's see how this does it. How much
Never
backlash?
happened.
Okay, hold up, my bad.
They know it's UFC. They don't care about UFC.
My bad. My
Do
bad.
they really?
No, they don't know what.
They don't really care about UFC. They try it in that.
They don't care
these
about anything.
companies spend a lot of money on marketing and
Yeah.
advertising. So
fucking
for
Yeah, they
EA
know-
to
listen.
they're gonna make their money, man.
Their sports games are built-in fans, though. They're gonna buy it regardless.
Right.
Regardless. That's why they said, "Hey, let's not tell them about this real quick." that was the
crazy,
The
though.
douchebag part
That's
about
the
it.
best part.
That's
Because
crazy.
they didn't say a damn thing
No,
about that
man.
shit. It
Oh,
was
hell
just
no.
in
Then
there.
they got called out and
It's like,
now they
update to
apologize.
improve the game. Update to improve the game. Don't tell them shit.
They will push the envelope until someone calls them out, and then they're like, "All right, let's try this differently on the next game."
Every morning I wake up, I always think about three things. How's my day going to be? And second, how much can EA and Trump fuck up my day? That's how it all plays up. It's like, okay, I'm not really a bad person, but if these big people keep fucking up, I feel great. But
It's all to help
awful.
your day go better.
Yes, sir.
That's the one guarantee is your day will be better.
Your day will be better.
And the guarantee that they're gonna fuck it up. So we just steer clear.
great coupon.
So tell us
My
what y'all
golden
think.
moment.
Tell us what y'all think in the comments about what EA's shenanigans make. How does it make you feel?
They always make it into our news all the time. They
Yeah,
find
it's
a way.
EA, extreme ass.
Extreme.
Hell yeah.
Oh man.
Okay. Breath of the Wild prequel, Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity, is coming to Switch from out of nowhere.
From out of nowhere.
Can we get this?
Oh dear.
There
Gotta
you
get
go.
the Randy. Gotta get the Randy Orton pose
Oh,
after
dear.
that.
Wow.
But yeah, it was out of nowhere. Like nobody knew about this, and everybody's waiting all year for Nintendo to make these announcements.
This is what Nintendo's doing because their direct is fucked up.
They're just
So they're
doing it.
chopping. They chopped
Yeah.
up their direct. Basically
much.
what they did. They chopped it up.
Pretty
They did
much.
their Pikmin thing.
It's doing
They did their Hyrule Warriors Calamity thing. They did their
Marios.
origami thing.
Yeah.
They're chopping up their direct and throwing it out when it's ready.
Yep.
It's exactly what they're doing.
And everything is very like quick to release,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't have a problem with that.
No, please.
better than a
By
year.
all means.
It's like show us everything 2 years in advance.
Right.
Hey,
No, it's fine.
You
So-
watch it, it releases in like a week or it's
so-
out.
Well, this title's release date is November 20th,
that's good.
which is very close.
Right.
That's soon, man.
So it's a new Legend of Zelda title being developed. Actually, wait, I gotta say where it's from. It's from Polygon.com.
Oh.
But yeah, it's a new Legend of Zelda title that's being developed by Nintendo and Koei Tecmo.
Koei.
I forgot they combined.
Yes.
Koei
Koei.
Tecmo Games.
Which
It's,
is why I love the fact that they got a good relationship. Ninja Gaiden.
well, he ain't in Hyrule Warriors.
listen. Smash
Could you imagine though?
Listen, it's a sequel to 2014's Hyrule Warriors, which when it came out, I mean,
That's like a fake sequel. It's not really a sequel.
the Warriors franchise isn't a big thing for Nintendo. It never really was. Any of the Warriors franchise for any of the systems never really made big noise
Until they became friends.
until it was
Yeah.
with Nintendo.
And they
I mean,
did the Fire Emblem and
Fire
then
Emblem
they did
was good,
Hyrule
though.
Warriors.
Yeah.
Both awesome games.
They're
I
all
like the
good.
Fire Emblem one.
they are good games.
Yeah.
But this one is a prequel to Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. So graphics wise, they use that type of style.
Stunning.
They increase it, they made it look better, which seems like that's what the new Zelda's gonna look like, kind of.
Yeah.
Probably better. We'll see. But Age of Calamity. It's what is it? It's 100. It's set 100 years before the events of that game
Yeah.
of Breath of the Wild.
Prequel.
100
Yeah,
years.
prequel.
So
That's right.
I mean, you know the story,
Yeah, it's
obviously.
It's,
they skipped a lot of stuff and just they didn't go into it really in the original game.
in the original game, no, they told the story
They
about
talked
what
about it.
happened, and
That was it.
and there's a lot of side shit, so you could find out exactly the full story. Obviously,
don't really talk
I didn't.
about it,
I didn't. No, they talk about it, but for you to see
Yeah, yeah,
things, events to happen, you have to go and find out. But I didn't do all the side shit because that's like another 100 hours. So I was like, no, I'm not about that life. But like the
game.
fact that they are doing not even like a Zelda game, a Zelda Warriors game based on those events. Oh, that's like the smartest thing I've ever seen. I'm like, holy shit. Of course I'll play that. And you could play all those characters that are your powers in Breath of the Wild. I'm like, oh, that's crazy. That's
Well,
easy.
They say you can play as Link, Zelda, and the 4 champions.
Yep.
I'm not saying these names. All right, fine.
Yes, go ahead.
He said it. Say the names, Jay.
Say the names.
Doruk, Mifia, Rivali, Arbosa.
Let me see.
That's what it
Oh,
says.
now we gotta give it to
Sounds like
Chalk
an
to read
Italian
it.
salad, man.
None of these are real names.
It
all
sounds
right?
like salad dressing.
Chalk, go ahead, man.
Yeah. Daruk, Mifa, Rivali, and Urbosa.
See the confidence that he said.
Why was that so different?
Because it's not English, all right?
Not because Chuck knows how to read.
Wow. Yo, you see the abuse that he puts up with, guys?
What have I been doing this whole time? Let me continue to read.
Mario Bros.
Disrespect is so real.
In addition to Warriors influence hack and slash action, Nintendo
Rivali,
says
Urbosa.
Yo, I'm gonna make a fake like website and give you like the
Nintendo says players will solve environmental puzzles, unlock weapons and skills, and craft materials, visit shops and obtain items to use the powers of the
what powers?
Shaika Slate. Shaika. What?
Shake a slate.
No, yeah, the Shaker Slate. He said it.
I said it. And the Breath of the Wild prequel. So it seems like this is going to be more story based than any of the Warriors games.
Kind of like the Dragon Warrior.
Yeah.
Like kind of like those.
Well, they said that Nintendo worked very closely with them on how the characters talk in the game and the storyline. So this is going to be an actual game you'll want to play. So this is
Looks
probably going to be
dope.
it might be the biggest Warriors game they make. No question, probably.
And their swords probably won't break.
No, so I might play this
They
one.
better not break.
I might play this one then. Definitely.
Imagine they
Oh,
still
I'd be like,
Go,
are
bro.
you fucking kidding me?
Just two,
Wow.
2 hits. Oh shit.
Right, to stay with
Swarm of enemies.
the continuity of the game, your weapons still break. Don't worry about that.
I'd be like, yo.
After 3 hits of your special weapon
They'll-
that you
they'll
worked
probably-
so hard to get, and you were so happy, it's gonna break.
They'll probably add it to the story too. They're like, yeah, something happened where
Now you have a
the
stick.
weapons all break.
You can get the illest weapon in the game, break
with
it in
a
2
branch.
seconds, and you get a branch,
beat him with a branch.
and then you float away and run for 3 hours. Forget that game.
Oh man.
All right, so
Damn.
that's the news on that.
The hate
which
is real.
It looks good. It looks good.
What do you think about that, Daniel? Hyrule Warriors, is that more of your speed, or you're like, eh?
Well, I mean, Koei Tecmo's Dynasty Warriors style into the world of Zelda. I mean, slaughtering people. I think a teenage boy like Link should not be so violent. Grab some hearts and some paper shakers and make that salad that we just talked about earlier. But yeah, for me, I mean, it's a cool way to spin off because Nintendo rarely has any kind of games of that caliber of mass destruction, mass killings. Well, I know that sounds terrible, but
Mass killing.
they want to have that cake too now, and I guess Koei Tecmo Games is probably the best developer of those kind of games like Fist of the North Star and of course Dynasty Warriors, based on the same engine, and now bring it to these guys. Yeah, I think it's not a bad idea to flesh out the IP as a little bit extra.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's a dope way to make it to extend, make like like extra, like to get more from that IP, kind of like how they did with Fire Emblem. Like
Right.
Fire Emblem, is a strategy role player, but they did Hyrule Warriors, which added and they added strategy elements too.
Yeah.
To
Fire
Yeah.
Emblem
Fire
Yeah.
Emblem strategy elements.
I
in
love
there.
that part.
And that is really fucking cool. And I
Yeah.
think they did it with Hyrule Warriors, the first one. And now with this, it looks like they're going to extend on it. And I think Nintendo has so many IPs that they could do that kind of Warriors treatment.
Imagine how many Goombas can
Dude.
come after you.
Yeah,
Super
a lot of
Mario
people.
Bros.
No, a lot of people asked for that. I'm like, what? Really? I'm like, okay.
I would give that a go.
What's
I'd
fascinating-
I would like to
kinda
see it.
excited.
I would like to see it. I would like to see it.
What's really fascinating to me is the fact that Dynasty Warriors started off as a fighting game.
As a fighting
Yeah.
game.
A
The
Tekken
first
ripoff.
game
And it
was
turned
it was
into
a
a-
Tekken ripoff, and then it just turned into this whole freaking
Kind of a soul
genre
calibur.
now.
Because you know why? Because at
Soul
the end of the
Edge.
day, everybody or most people like to play a game where you could just mow down hundreds and
Yep.
thousands
Yeah.
of people and just feel amazing about it. Like Berserk. When Berserk did it,
Yeah.
just
But
That was like
chop
the first-
people in
that was the
half
first-
and, like,
no, well, talk
like the
about
first
this
Devil May
though.
Cry.
It's
Yeah.
like they start off like a copycat. It was a ripoff of a Tekken.
Yeah.
You know.
Now they made
And
so
then they
many
reinvented
titles.
themselves and they created their own genre, which is
Without that, we
freaking
wouldn't have had
nuts.
99 Nights.
None.
No, exactly. No, 99 Nights was awesome.
That was a great game.
That was a great
See,
It had
game.
great music.
Yeah.
I like that game a lot. I
But-
always love those kinds of
Yeah.
games.
Speaking of mass killings, though,
Oh boy,
Wow.
What a dark way to turn it.
damn! Why
when
haven't you a voice
Nintendo
there?
when Nintendo gave away their licenses for Zelda and made the CDI games, that was pretty much a mass killing.
Damn.
Hotel Mario.
yeah,
Hotel Mario.
That was
Hotel
pretty
Mario.
Much, that pretty much killed that whole system.
Oh, man.
That is a mass killing.
That was
That's pretty bad.
Nintendo's like, yeah, we're not licensing our shit. anymore.
Exaggeration, animation.
Like all the movement.
Yeah.
The movement. Every time they were talking, he's like, something Zelda, something. Let me move closer to you. Like, why is he moving closer?
They were so happy to have movement.
Moves like a crackhead.
They were so happy to have animation that they didn't know what to do.
Thanks.
Yeah.
No, he said,
Thanks.
Wow.
moving on.
You didn't think that was natural? You didn't think that was a natural move? No.
Oh yeah.
Oh, God.
I can watch
Anyway.
that for hours.
Moving on.
All right. So, Xbox Series S price and design confirmed. Series X release date and price reportedly leaked. Well, that's been confirmed. Also.
They've all been confirmed.
Yeah.
Yes, when we originally got the news, it was leaked. But, just to read the specs on the Series S, which, to be honest, it was never to cut the system in half. I always hated that rendition of the system. I was like, it's not going to be the Xbox Series X cut in half as a cube. It's not. That's not going to be the system.
It's gonna be a little small box.
Stop
It's gonna be a
showing that
small
cube.
box.
It's an
terrible.
X rectangle.
It's terrible. But, they talk about the looks of this system before I get into the specs.
Oh, yes.
So I when I first saw it, I was like,
It
"Ew, what
what I
is the
said.
speaker?" Because it looked like a speaker.
It looks like a
It does
Bluetooth
look like a
speaker.
but I like it.
Yeah.
But I understand now why they did it because I was like, why didn't they just change that? Like either a black system with the grill being black, or a white system with the grill being white. I know why they did that because it looks too much like the Xbox One and the Xbox One S. It looks too much like it for them to come out with it for a new system because it'll be too confusing when you go shopping for it.
I don't know, man.
No, definitely because it looks exactly the same.
If you cover up that circle, the black circle,
Yeah,
no, that's it looks identical.
I know,
But
but the circle's
like they
there.
could have done something else.
But no, I'm saying that's why it stands out as this Oreo-looking thing, but or this ice cream bar. Like it's
Oreo-looking
weird.
Oreo looking
But
thing.
the more you look at it, the more it's like, okay, I see why. You can go into the store and be like, that's the new one. I'm gonna buy that.
I don't know. It's to me from a design. I do graphic design and stuff, and from a design standpoint,
It's not
it's
pretty.
called the Xbox, and you see a circle.
It's not pretty.
It's like it's confusing. Like if they made it a square box.
Well, they put an S on the top.
if
it would
they
be
made
tacky as hell.
Yeah.
if they made it a square black grill instead of a
Yeah.
black circle, I think it makes more sense
The fan's
from a
not
design
square.
standpoint. But we're talking about,
I know.
you know what I mean?
But it does stand out. It looks different than the Xbox One.
It does look different than the Xbox One, but
I mean, it's camouflage, man. I mean, put it in the bookshelf, and the
Yeah.
thieves will not see the difference.
Put it next to your speaker. You're
Yeah.
like, boom! This is a subwoofer. New subwoofer.
Yes.
you take
But-
the Xbox instead of your Bluetooth speaker by accident. Like,
Oh yeah. It's pretty. It better be loud. It better be loud. I don't care. Now, what they?
What if that's
what if the fan was mad loud?
Yeah.
because it's in a speaker grill.
What if that's not even a fan? That's a
No,
that's
it's
a
definitely
speaker
a fan.
grill. And everything.
It's definitely a fan. So it's all digital. It's capable of running games at 1440p and up to 120 frames per second, and it will support DirectX ray tracing and 4K upscaling for games. So the ray tracing thing really hit me. Like I didn't think it was going to be in that. That's the one thing I thought they wouldn't put in this, and the 120 frames per second. I was like, that's not bad, and it's $300.
That
Retail.
price is good.
nice price.
$299.
That's a good price.
$299 retail.
To play what?
That's a good price. To play.
Come
Come on, man.
Listen,
Hold on. I got to answer him.
What games are gonna play?
To play.
They got Game
360
Pass.
games?
they
What
have
are you gonna
Game
play?
Pass to play 100 games for $15 a month.
That we already own, man.
Do you own them?
Yeah.
You don't own them.
Yeah, we own the game.
You don't own them.
Wait.
Collectively, we own
You
them.
don't own them.
Wait, hold on.
got
I
these
want to
games.
answer out.
What you mean
$300 to play.
As a new gamer,
A new game?
to have 100 games to go through, that's never happened when you first buy a system. Never, ever happened.
Crackdown 3.
So, so they also announced, they also had a presentation of it where it looked like it was coming out of milk, and people call it an Oreo. Because it looked like it was coming out of milk.
Yeah.
So it's a weird presentation. Don't
color
get me wrong.
design, too,
It was weird. It was very
Yeah.
weird. But, they did the first one like that kind of too, but it didn't look like it was milk.
No.
But the Xbox Series X, they said also, that will cost $4.99 at retail.
That makes sense.
And that's what we said all along, what the price should be and what it probably is going to be.
I think we got that right.
We were right.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
did
the whole
say
time
for
since
sure.
day one.
I think we did
Since
say
day one.
$4.99.
Yeah, but the 300 really threw us off.
$5.99 would be way too. You can't
$5.99 is
start
pushing it.
You can't start like that.
But the fact that they were stopping production of the X at $3.99, I was like, okay, there's something going on. They're definitely going to be around that price range. So not bad. I mean, it's still a lot. Don't want to spend $500, but it's still not 6, not 7, so it's whatever. It's
I heard that-
powerful. It's a powerful system.
I heard that they're working with retailers to.
No, I'm
to
going to
do
get into it.
Oh, okay.
They're doing financing.
Yeah,
They're doing
Yes.
for the $500 retail
Yes.
Xbox Series X. It's
Right.
$35 per month
Right.
with Xbox All Access financing option. And
It's like a phone.
no,
It really is. We predicted this
they
shit.
Took into account. They took into account that people don't have the money. Right
I think
now.
I predicted this shit, man.
People don't have the money. They don't have the games. It's kind of like a.
This is what I was worried about.
Stop it.
This is what I was.
So they said
can't
the
help
Series S
Right.
at the $300 will have a $25 per month financing option. So $25 a month. Say you're a family who really doesn't have the money, and your kid is like, "I want this system." $25 a month, you can probably pull that. It's not that bad. Not bad, especially since it's going to be done pretty soon, like a couple
Yeah,
of
but
months.
with all the. Well, all right.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you don't have the money, this is a good option.
I'm
But,
just saying,
but
with all the
thing is-
services that you're paying on the, you got Netflix, you got,
well, I mean, you can
X
buy
Pass,
a
you got-
game also. It's still $60.
Game
You might as well
Pass,
pay
you
the
got-
$15 a month.
How much is Game Pass?
$15.
Okay, how much is the
How much is a
financing?
game?
20
$60.
How much
So if
is
you pay, listen, if you cut that up, that's a half a year for the price of one game that your kid is begging for. So it's good. It's a good thing.
How long does Game Pass last for?
Game Pass is $15 a month.
No, I mean, like, is there?
Oh.
You just had.
Well,
you just
sometimes they take the games away, which is kind of, but it's like Netflix. Sometimes the movies go
It's
away.
Netflix, man.
That's,
For gaming.
So if the people who are paying, I mean, it's a dope deal. Don't get me wrong. It's a really fucking awesome deal. But if people want to own something,
That's different.
yeah,
You gotta have the
that's
money.
that's the thing. Because like, let's just say,
Well, you gotta have the money.
yeah, if there's a kid who's like, yo, I love this game. It's only, it's mad cheap.
Buy
They
it
get to
used
play
later.
it. There's something, and
Buy
it's
it
just
used
like,
for 20 later.
but it's like,
Like you wait for games, right? You
Me.
wait for games to drop in price usually.
you damn right I do.
So what if you were paying $15? You were playing it while it was hot, and then later on it was wet. Like it died down and it
Oh,
was
that's never gonna be me.
$20, $15.
That's never
But you
gonna
can't
be
do that
me.
if you get the digital only system.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's the only thing that drove me
Well,
away.
Yeah, that's never me. That's
getting
not
the cheap
that's
system.
not how I personally game. That's not what I
But
do.
that's what they want the
yeah,
gaming industry
and,
to
and
do.
it's very appealing. Don't get me wrong, it's
yeah.
very appealing. But it's like for people
don't-
like me, I'm not doing that.
Well, we're gamers.
Yeah,
Like people who
yeah.
just casually play.
For parents, they could trick their kids into being like, "Let's pay. It'll be cheaper, and you can play whatever you want." And they'll be like, "Okay." And then, but like for gamers, people who've been around for a hot minute, like they'll be like, "I wanna. You want to play Avengers a year from now, 2 years from now? You like
Right.
because you love the game."
But this is the route
You
that
know?
Xbox or Microsoft is taking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you are the guy that just goes out and gets Madden, Call of Duty,
Yeah.
NBA, and that's all you get,
They're banking
and
off
you're
of that.
paying $15 a month for
Yeah.
those 3 games,
Yeah.
They're banking off of that.
you're paying less money
No,
a year.
I agree with what they're doing because
Each
they
year.
they have to do that. I think
And-
I think Microsoft has to do this.
That's a member for life.
Yeah, they have to do it because not to keep throwing shit on them, they don't have many games.
But
So
when they
it's
do
like,
bring
yeah.
out their game
Yeah.
for those guys, they say, "Hey, now you can play our game. Play our game. Now you can play. You can buy the suit in
It-
this game
it's a
because you're
smart-
playing this." Like they're trying to get them into those
it's
games.
a smart way to stay relevant for them because
Yeah.
if they don't do that, no one's gonna care about them. They're just gonna fade away. If they do it that way, hey, no, it's cheap. We got some new shit. Play it. You can play it.
Yeah,
It's
their
a
friends-
smart way to
and
do
if
it.
their-
Lack
and
of
if their friends,
exclusives.
if their friends say, "All right, I'm gonna try this game. I'm gonna try Halo instead of Call of Duty," and you're like, "Oh, it's free download. All my friends are
Yeah.
playing it. Let me jump into this,"
Yeah.
and you end up liking it better than that. It's a win-win for Microsoft. So what do you think, Daniel? What do you think of all this?
Well, for me as a working part time and all that stuff, I don't really have time to play those games. I don't think the 35 or per month or the $25 per month option would be viable for me. So I really just want to buy the games, take my time, don't feel like there's a stress motivated that I really have to play all these games now or I'm losing my money. So I think maybe those $25 a month could be a great motivator for people who like to be completionists and really get through the games, and when they're done, move on to the next thing. For me, I'm not a completionist. So I feel if I'm not playing for 3 days, I'm losing money for that.
Yeah.
That's what I feel. But in general, I mean, when I look at the price of the Xbox Series X here, and let's say $299, as you said, it's not a bad price. But I also have a feeling that every time Microsoft has announced their price for their system, Sony will just slice their price a little bit below them when it comes, like, what was it, when they announced the PlayStation 2 versus the first Xbox, I think. Xbox came in like, this machine is going to be $399. Sony comes in, stands up on stage, $299.
But
boom, mic drop.
And they don't even have to.
Sony
They don't even have to reduce their price that much. They can reduce it like $25, $10,
They could
$20.
do $25 if they
Seriously,
want. Yeah,
they
yeah,
really
they
don't.
have
And
to.
they'll.
why don't they just give a game with it?
I said this before. Remember,
Whatever happened to that?
a few weeks ago, I think I brought this up. I don't remember exactly, but I remember bringing this up in sales. The first person that brings the offer or speaks is the person that loses. So in this case, I mean, well,
PlayStation 3 was $599.
Microsoft is in for the long haul, right? So they're in it for the subscriptions. That's their business
They
plan.
want live players to be living in their system.
But they don't have.
Like, people
No
play
offense,
live
Chuck.
games.
No offense, Chuck. They don't have like the games that's
They're
for
coming
that
with
system.
nothing but live games. That's what they're coming out with. They're all live games.
I understand that, and I know there's a transition period. Drop your phone.
I know. I know. I'm aware.
He just did that so funny.
But yeah, it was sort of like
Drop.
drop.
Drop the mic.
No, there's a weird transition period that's going on right now in gaming where you have two consoles that are like transitioning into an all digital type of thing. That's why they have
two different ways though.
Yeah, and two different marketing strategies completely.
Yeah, exclusives versus my game is living.
Now, I think obviously we know the Xbox or Microsoft has been working on this for a while. That's why they're ready to release.
They ain't gonna lose money. They're fine.
Sony has a lot to lose with this, man. They can't mess this up.
Listen, they got like the
They
Marvel
can't mess
Universe
this
with
up.
their games.
The size-
Their exclusives are the Marvel
The
Universe.
thing that worries me about Sony,
I'm concerned.
it's the size of that fucking system. That cost a pretty penny. Like I can't see a $300 anything coming from Sony. It just looks so fucking like it just so much shit is in there that it's like I can't imagine that being lower than Xbox.
To add to that too, the other thing that concerns me is this payment plan thing, this financing payment plan thing. If this becomes the norm, like it is for
They tried it for the Xbox One, though.
like it is for cell phones, and nobody even bats an eye about it now because we're all conditioned to it.
Still the same
But
price.
I don't.
It's still the same price.
I'm concerned about they get you with like interest and stuff like that.
Still same price.
I'm sure they get you with something.
No, still the same price. It's just
I'm
do
sure-
you have the
I'm
money
sure
to
they
throw
get
out at
you
the
with
same
something.
time. That's all. But you know what's funny?
I don't know.
The way that this happened. So, like I said, we need an E3 or something like it for them to say something like this, to have them have a definitive day for them to do something like this. Because what happened here? This leak, and then, it's out, and wait, the ad is here, and who tweeted what? Like, how did this happen?
Well, at least with the E3, you have a date.
That's what I'm
that
saying.
every year, no, that I'm agreeing. That's like everyone has to meet, and you have to reveal your shit.
Didn't we just have?
Yeah, there's nothing. So it's everyone's like, like Nintendo, like they're just doing whatever they want.
No, it's a free for all.
Yeah, you're just throwing
But
shit out there
free-for-all.
when you
But
want to throw it
wasn't
out there.
Wasn't it like a week ago where we had the gaming expo or whatever? Like, why wasn't this announced there? Like, this would have been the perfect thing to say, hey, here's the
Right.
trailer.
All right.
We'll drop the mic here.
Because there's no
Price.
forum. There's no
And this
nothing.
thing just came out like, oh, they saw it. Oh, shit. Let's release it.
Right.
Because we heard rumors that PlayStation was telling the price
And
today.
it leaked.
How many,
so it came out early.
You know how many meetings both these companies are having? Like, no, don't do it yet. Don't do it yet.
Every day.
Yeah,
Just
don't
it.
do
But
it
this
yet.
is weird how
It's
it
not even a
it-
meeting at this point. It's an email thread. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
we going to do it
Yeah,
today?
yeah.
No.
It's
We
like,
going to do it
But
today?
it's such a crappy way to drop the news, though.
it's stupid. It's
So people were like, wait, this just happened. Oh, wait, what?
No,
This just
man.
happened? And we thought it was fake as hell.
the
Literally-
way everything is being revealed from any video game company, from Nintendo to Sony to Microsoft, everything that's being revealed, it's not even it's
Amazing.
not scheduled.
There's no
It's
rhyme or
like,
reason.
Every time I wake up, oh, this was just what?
Yeah.
The fuck?
No
Like,
rhyme or reason, man.
This is what happens. When we were getting news for this episode, 9 seconds. They dropped this in there. I said,
Yeah.
9 seconds in. I saw it. First guy who saw it. I'm like, that's not real, is it? I didn't know if that even looked. That was like a fake render. I was like,
Yeah.
this is the Series S? And I took it for granted because I was like, this has to be fake.
Right. I thought the
Happened
same
out of
thing.
nowhere.
You
And I was
said-
like,
yeah,
wait, no, this is here.
You
This
sent
is
that
actually
article. I
happening.
remember. I was like, nah, man. This
Exactly.
This can't be.
And it was
I
like,
thought
here's the
same-
prices. It's like fake price.
I saw the same
I
thing.
was
I'm like,
like-
nah, this is just a rumor.
And then it was everywhere.
and
Yeah.
it's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
And then
And I was
Like
like,
a
man,
big
I
ass
could've-
domino.
I could have
Inverted
retweeted
domino.
that. I could have retweeted that in seconds.
Yeah.
I was in 9 seconds in.
Oh,
I had the
man.
news right there.
Dude, I'd love to see the mods that people do. Like, you know how they do crazy mods? Like, they'll actually make it into a Bluetooth speaker
Hell
Nah,
yeah.
they could probably.
or make it a domino.
You can make
Actually-
that into a L Genesis.
Yo,
Put a
actually
doing
circle
that.
on the
Yo, you
Genesis.
paint that thing yellow, you can make it a minion.
Yo, there's so many things you can do. Yeah.
Listen, you can put Genesis on there. Put the cartridge right in the circle.
The one thing I love was what they did with the PlayStation 5. They made that shit grow legs and walk.
Oh,
like
yeah,
a fucking
yeah.
like a
Oh, yeah.
fucking like
Well, they
droid or
did
something.
rip the things off too. It was so much smaller.
Yeah.
That's
After
a
they ripped
big
the thing
fucking
off?
system. That
After they ripped
system
the
is-
wings off that thing.
That's a big system, dude. That's
Oh.
why I'm like, that's gonna be like.
Any day now, Sony.
Tony's like, nah, we good right now.
Nah.
We're waiting.
we good.
Listen, it's not coming out this year, so you have to worry.
We're waiting for something.
Yeah. I mean, so as I said, like the price is good, but already now Microsoft's revealed the cards. Microsoft did the werewolf. Sony now has a silver bullet to either make or break them in one way. But still, in the end, I'm wondering what's good system for me as a working person. And I was like, you know what? I want to play anytime. And of course, Microsoft, if they're gonna have that shit that went with the Xbox 360, you have to have constant online connection just to play a game offline. I'm not down with that.
I've always hated that.
So-
I've always
Still
hated
pushing.
that.
They're still pushing. For
I've
it.
always
still
hated that.
pushing.
And
Yeah.
Sony is still doing like offline play is possible. But then Nintendo Switch, I was like playing PGA 21K golf game. It's like, this is a great thing to have if I'm gonna fly on an airplane, go to Bali, whatever, and just occupy with playing some golf. And nope, you have to be online for that one as well. It's like,
That's
why?
stupid.
And that really sucks. Some games will require constant online for the single player experience, which I don't think is necessary. So I mean, those are the things that are really gonna get fighting for my attention.
Right.
And basically of all, if I can manage my own time without any pressure, let the best system win. But we don't know much about Sony at all right now when it comes to the price. But if they do offer the solution for offline play, that probably be the system I will guide myself to. But since we're talking about Microsoft, they revealed their hand. I still think the prices are very good. This looks like an everyday person could pick up the system and have enormous fun with it. But the question is always, do I need to have full online access all the time?
I just think all Sony can do is match. I think that's all they can do.
Yeah.
Even if they can. I don't know if they can do it with their digital system at 300. I think it's 500, 400. I still think that.
For Sony, definitely.
Yeah.
I think it's 5.4. Yeah. I don't think they're going as low as 3.
They might have to now. They might have to now.
For the
Yeah, but
physical,
For the digital.
6. No, for the physical,
No, if they go 6, it's over.
This
6.
one,
6.
like-
They have to match it now. So they're like, okay, at
Yeah.
least they said it. Now we can do our thing. Same thing. That's
what was PS3?
Yeah,
PS3 was $600.
$6.99.
And
And they
that-
failed.
Yeah.
That failed the first year.
You can't.
It won it over when they dropped the
They
price.
have to understand
They're gonna
they
take a
can't
loss.
do 6.
No.
You
No.
can't. You can't do 6.
Remember the rumors of 700 and 1,000?
You can't.
Yeah.
Remember that?
I remember that.
I
was
never
like,
believed that. Never believed that for a second.
That's crazy talk. That's if
Only
EA
Snoop
came out
Dogg
with a
would buy
system.
such a system.
Yeah, better. It's a PC at that point.
If EA came out with a
Yeah.
system, it'd be $900 to $1,000.
No, it'll be $50, and then they drop some ads in there, and then they just make you pay $50 every hour.
Every time you turn the game on,
Exactly.
$50.
You gotta pay by the quarter.
Bitcoin generator.
Then it'll be tied to your cell phone. You gotta pay like extra $50 on your phone every month. Whatever the hell they would do.
I think Sony's digital will be 4, and I think their physical has to be 5.
I think they have to match it now. They can't be
I
more.
can't
I feel
picture
like-
3. I can't.
I
Three.
feel like the only reason why they haven't announced it is because they're discussing.
They're gonna lose money.
No,
have
because
to
they
match
were
it.
hired. They were thinking hire
Yeah.
before this, and they're like,
Yeah.
nope.
They
we're gonna
have to
do
match it
something.
in order to sell.
Yeah.
Because if they're any higher,
And they
be
know
like,
the
"Nah, nah."
components are using a very high end, so they're going to lose money on this
Yeah.
one.
Lose. They're gonna have to
For
take
sure.
a loss in the beginning.
Yeah.
They should.
But I still think, I mean, because of the deep fan base that Sony has, they're gonna outsell.
They'll be fine.
They should.
They'll
They'll
be
be
fine.
fine.
Even if the digital is
They'll be
$100
fine.
bucks,
The way they're
more
marketing
than
it, the way they're marketing it is
than
going to do
Xbox.
better than Xbox.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just a different way of marketing.
Absolutely.
I just off the bat, it's gonna be a little
But
rocky.
money wise, I don't know if they'll make more money than Xbox in the
No.
long run.
They
No.
won't.
In the long run,
They
no.
absolutely
Not if they
will
do
not.
what they want to do. No.
No.
Nintendo's like, whatever y'all want to do.
Or they-
If there's enough,
Exactly.
Y'all just do
Stay
whatever
on
y'all
it.
want to do. We good.
Well, actually, now that I think about it, when I think about console launches, think about the Nintendo Switch. They didn't launch during like the regular.
no, they came out their own
They
way.
came out in what was it, March or some shit?
yeah,
shit like
around
that?
there.
Smart thing to
Because
do.
Nintendo
Yeah.
does
And that
whatever
was-
they want.
They
That
do
was-
whatever
that
they
was
want.
But they
and-
had their own portable market. Though.
And they also have their fan base. So just like Sony has their own fan base, why don't they don't need to?
They're
you
gonna
know,
be all right.
They don't need to compete to release this thing on I know they want to release it for Christmas for the holiday.
Yeah, they don't have to. But
They don't have to though.
They will though. They're not.
Well, they're
letting-
gonna obviously.
I think
it's
they
for
should just let
pre-order. they
Xbox
gotta-
do their own thing during Christmas time,
Yeah,
and then just get their things polished and perfect.
but this
We'll
is
see.
like a weird time right now, man.
We'll see.
Nobody knows.
It's a crazy year, man.
Remains to be seen.
It's a crazy free for all.
It's only gonna
Yeah.
get crazier.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Every second, man.
You got the Amico coming, man.
Yeah.
There's more.
Yeah.
There's more systems.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
more coming.
Yeah, man.
Which means more content.
Calico, Intel Vision.
Yeah, man.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
We
All
call-
right.
We call it the Amico Deej.
It has to be signed on our.
Yeah, yeah.
I want that to be signed on my.
Yeah.
Yes, please. He has to
You
sign.
gotta
it.
send it back to Tommy.
The
and tell him
test,
to
the test
sign it.
version. I want him to sign it. These.
Yes, yes, yes. I bet you'll do it.
The test, the play test copy. That we
The
get.
Amico Double D.
Double
D's.
D's.
The chocolate flatbread D's
D's.
Tommy
Edition.
edition.
Yo, that would be sick.
Engraved.
Yeah.
Engraved. I don't want that
Stop
written.
it.
Engrave that
Stop
shit.
it.
We
Yo,
got,
that
I might hit him up after this podcast.
Moving on.
Oh man! All right, what a way to end the news there, man. Yes, this is the continuation of music.
Lindholm.
All right.
You gotta say it the right way.
Wow,
You gotta say his
okay.
name the
Game
right way.
music production
Yeah,
part 2.
Part 2. Yes.
It's how it's supposed to be now.
You gotta dig down
Wow.
deep.
You don't have to go to hell to get into the second.
You summon like a demon. Like,
No, he summoned his inner Vince McMahon.
I had to get the Vince McMahon going.
That's gonna be called the Ghostbusters on.
we need an exorcist over here, man.
All right, so
But anyway.
now we're into the main topic.
Yeah.
All right. So you said you were into film composition, right? You
Yeah.
said you just wanted to start film composition to begin your music career. So when you got the gig to do Resident Evil 6, did you implement that talent into that game?
Yeah, definitely. I think that was like one of the criteria at the time. But even before I got the game, I didn't know what I was applying for. So that's the crazy story behind it. I got involved with Resident Evil 6. If you want to hear
Yeah,
it.
yeah, of
Of
course.
course.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So it's now really crazy. I think it's like 2009 or 2010. The zombie craze is coming with The Walking Dead, and we have the Yakuza Dead Souls. We have like Lollipop Chainsaw, but even before I got to Yakuza Dead Souls, I produced my first game for Sega, with a Super Monkey Ball 3D.
Oh shit.
I was
Totally
like,
different.
Wow.
Yeah,
I was
way
like,
different.
Yeah,
and then they want the second game I do for them is Yakuza Dead Souls. Like,
That makes no sense.
it's like, why do they think I'm good at the horror theme when I gave them all these cutesy music? But no, they had my demo reel and everything, so they know that they wanted me to do something for one of their projects, 2 Yakuza games. And then I thought, okay, I'm gonna be typecast into the zombie genre for all time. But at the end of 2010, my agent contacts me and she says, we have a music competition for Capcom. The thing is that we cannot say what the name of the game is, but we think you would be good to try out. We're going to pay your fee. So you have to pay to be part of this competition. Wow. So it was like huge pressure to get it right. So they said, we're gonna apply for you, and we're gonna pay your entry fee for that, because that's going to be a guarantee that Capcom will listen to your work at least. Okay. So then they gave me like a text document of the rules. They gave me a text document about a scenario we have to write music for, and a splash screen. So we had to do 2 things. So compose an in-game music segment and a splash screen. And I mean, writing the in-game segment, we just have to like read a script and try to interpret that into music. And it was kind of interesting because it was split in 3 parts. The first part was our heroes is in need of getting to a safe place from battle. Second part, they find this kind of barricade. And inside the barricade, they have to find a weapon that can turn the tide of the battle. And then third part is all-out war and try to clear the area of whatever it is. It doesn't say if it's bioweapons or anything in the script. So they kept it very, very stripped down. And I was like, okay, all right. Then the second part, I mean, that game segment part was no problem. That was like in the zone. I love action films, so I drew inspiration from like Starship Troopers, RoboCop, obviously same guy who did them, and a little bit of I guess I have to say The Rock.
Okay.
So Hans Zimmer, Harry Gregson Williams, and another guy there, Nick. And that was basically my sound palette for the competition.
Gotcha.
But the hardest one was to create a splash screen. They said this is going to be like the sequence you see when you start up the game. It's going to be playing in the background. It's going to look a little bit like cutscenes from 24. Imagine that kind of thing.
yeah.
It's like,
Interesting.
secret agent kind of style, or like corporate. No, not corporate, but like secret PMCs and all that stuff. It's like, 24. I love that show. Sean Carey's music is great.
That was great.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Let's go for it. But the thing is that every time I produced a part of this music, I figured out a very cool musical journey through the song. It was very cinematic. But my agent came back to me. She said, it's not catchy enough. It's not catchy enough. And I kept telling her, okay, maybe more melody or something like that. And she still came back, this is not catchy enough. So now I've been working on this thing for almost 3 weeks, and we only had 1 month to complete both segments. So the first thing was done in maybe 5 days, easily. But I just had an enormous struggle to write melodic stuff. And I always felt I'm not really a melodical guy. I always feel that I love to build tension and atmospheres in music, and that's what film at the time was doing. Like Batman, there was like barely any melody. So I adopted that kind of as atmospheric feeling. So writing melodies, I didn't think would fit the genre. But then she said, okay, it's not catchy enough. Take number 4. I was like, what the hell am I doing? All right, let's do like this. I take a day off. I start watching Rambo 2, First Blood, Jerry
yes.
Goldsmith. I go back and watching Conan the Barbarian. I go back and watching Total Recall.
Yeah, I saw that.
And then I'm watching again just to reaffirm myself with the genre. So I watch a few episodes of 24, just try to figure out what do they have in common. Is there anything that we can work with here? Of course, Conan the Barbarian and RoboCop have that very heroic horn section. Meanwhile, RoboCop has a kind of electronic sampled synthesizer rhythm pattern going on. And it's like, okay, I think I see something I can do that no one will notice if I send this thing in. So usually we work with music in 4/4 beat, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4. But I decided at one part of the song, at the very ending, it's going to change time signature to, I think it's 9/8. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. 1 2 3 4. So it's off kilter, you know. And that kind of creates a really cool militaristic melody, like accent in the snare drums. And to program snare drums, I think I love it for these kind of stuff. And then I had that melody. But the craziest thing, I was working on the percussion. So I think the percussion was pretty much nailed. But with only 12 hours left of the competition, I still had to do like some soul searching inside of me, say, this is not good enough. I'm going to erase everything but the percussion. And I started from scratch.
Wow.
So this is now 10 p.m. and the competition finishes 10 a.m. the next morning. So I just had to be smart about this. So I lay down a little bit of a schedule. I told my wife I'm going to be working all night. So you go to bed. Don't worry about me. And I was thinking of when can I use the speakers the next morning. So my plan is working from 10 p.m. to about 4 a.m. Then I take a rest until 7 a.m., wake up, eat breakfast. From 8 a.m., I listen and do some primary mixing in my cans. And then from 9 o'clock, 1 hour left, I can mix it through the speakers.
Wow. That's a lot.
And I was like, and then I was like, okay, maybe I have some time left. It's like, 20 minutes left. Let's do a mastering session. Just to give them all the bells and whistles. And with only 5 minutes left, I sent it in and I said, okay, if this is not catchy enough now, I don't care.
It's not meant to be.
So I just sent it in. This is my last hurrah, and let's see what happens. And they thank you for the files. And then 2 weeks later, that's a magic number that always keeps up in my stories. 2 weeks later, I get a phone call, and they just told me that, okay, Daniel, here's the thing. You actually got the work for Capcom. But you're going to be writing music for Resident Evil 6. I was like, what?
Wow.
Is this Chris's blood? So, yeah, I did not know what I was competing for until she announced that, yeah, you actually auditioned for Resident Evil 6. And the lead composer, Narita-san, basically said, you might be one of the guys we would like to work with. But the thing was that I just heard from the grapevine that they were looking for people from all over the world to fill out four positions in their company, just temporarily as foreign composers. So the majority of these people came from Los Angeles. They were already involved in film studios and all that stuff. But to get one of those spots, doing everything on a shitty 8 GB laptop and send it in, I was like, I just can't believe what just happened.
That's crazy.
Wow.
How big was the Resident Evil series to you? Before you knew?
Well, I can tell you the first game I just couldn't play because once that fucking dog jumps out of the window,
Oh yeah.
and all those lockdown camera angles just keeps up the horror factor. You don't know what's behind the next corner.
Yeah.
So I'm not a horror game fan per se. But I like to see other people play, and when they jump, I scream as well. So I'm a pussy for that stuff. But I think when we got the Nintendo Wii, I actually jumped into Resident Evil 4 Remake, and I really loved the gun controls in that game. I felt I was more responsible, I was more in charge, I can understand what's going on. So Resident Evil 4, I jumped back in, and I had a really good time with that game. Resident Evil 5, I think that was the most controversial game in the series when we look at what happened there. And I think, sure, they told us you have to play Resident Evil 5 so you can understand what we're trying to do with the music and all that stuff. But until then, yeah, I only played maybe one game all the way through, and that was Resident Evil 4. So that's probably
It's a good one.
my most
Four is a lot
involvement
of
in the
people's
game
favorite.
series.
You know what the music that sticks in my head, my favorite track in
Save
the
Point?
series?
Save Point
Save
Part 2?
Point music.
Save Point in Part 2.
The original, right?
Yeah.
Do.
That freaking soundtrack that was.
You know what's
If
funny?
you ever,
It's
if
epic.
you can look it up, Dan, if you haven't heard it.
And the remake,
Yeah.
they remixed the music
Yes.
for the remake.
Yes.
And the first thing I did was go back to the old music.
Yeah, compare it. Yeah,
Because you
I
can
did-
switch it.
I did
To
the
go
same
back
thing, yeah.
nostalgia-wise, I had to go back to the old
Yes.
music to feel like it was the same game.
Oh, dude, it was awesome.
Because that's how much
Yeah.
it would take you out of it.
It
just
stuck to me,
because-
man.
Yeah, you got to have the right music.
That music is like,
Yeah.
it was weird because you're in a save point where you're supposed to feel safe, but that track,
Right.
Yeah.
it made you feel safe, and
It
you
was
were
still
happy that
eerie,
you were there,
though.
but it was still eerie. Like
Yeah.
anything could happen at any moment.
But
And
if
it
you had
captured-
that
Right,
flavor,
because
you
it
open
happens
your
in
door,
real time, right?
Huh?
It also happens in real time, if I'm not mistaken. Like, even if you're there, but you haven't pressed the typewriter,
Oh yeah, no. It's
Oh, yeah, yeah,
bad things can
Yes.
still happen.
Yes.
And you're like, I'm
outside.
safe in this room until
Yeah.
they.
And
Did
you-
they ever break into the room?
Never happened. Never happened. No, it just built. It was a perfect amount of tension that that track built, where you always
Yeah.
thought that something was gonna happen, but it never did.
I want to get that sound built into my room when I open the door. So I feel comfortable in my own room. Like I feel safe here.
But at any second, someone can come in.
No, you feel safe. It's fine. You'll be good.
No, that track was
Yeah.
it was the most memorable track that in my experience playing Resident Evil. Pretty
Well,
much
it's
all of
moody.
them.
It's very moody music, and it's hard to keep moody
Yeah.
music in your head as
Yes.
a jingle. Like it's not a Mario Brothers type song.
Yeah,
Like it's
Right. Yep.
it's low. It's like violins.
it's melodic.
And
It's
cellos
a
and
very melodic.
It's hard to do that in your head, out of the blue.
Yeah,
Yeah, I really enjoy the safe room theme from Resident Evil 4
That was
with
not
the
bad.
harp and piano and
Yeah.
the little string there.
Yeah.
But always when you pop up with a merchant, what do you want, stranger?
What are you buying?
Yeah.
What are you?
What are you
selling?
buying? I don't know. That's like gave me so much nostalgia.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, the music in those games, as you said, are very, very important. But that's what we're coming into now, basically. So they said, like 2 weeks later, we got the phone call and said, we're going to go to Capcom in Osaka and we're going to have a meeting about. So we got to meet the music team, we got to meet the director, the producer, and they were having this briefing with us, and they want to check like all the characters' different playing style and rule sets, and of course what music would represent each character. And I was sitting there with a notepad, and my agents were sitting next to me, and of course the entire thing is all in Japanese, and I can kind of understand 65-70% of what's being said, but my expression to respond to that, I just took notes in English and I show my agency, am I getting this correct? Am I understanding correctly? And she said, yeah, no problem. So just the first character we were talking about was Leon Kennedy's campaign. And they told us it's going to be very gothic. It's like a throwback to Resident Evil 4. And we need these set of instruments. So they were thinking like, okay, gothic, we need a lot of wood-based instruments, the creaky, low contrabasses, bass clarinets, so pretty much wood-style instruments or part of that score. And I was like, from my abilities, I don't really have access to be able to make good clarinets, software-based clarinets, or so anything that would make the game feel good for me to write for. So I just put 1 star, not interesting for me. And then we went to Chris and Pierce campaign. I was like, oh, we want some Hollywood action hybrid score, like the shit. I was like, oh, all right, that's cool. I like that. The hybrid techno. Okay, 5 stars. That's my dude. That's definitely that's the guy we want. Heroic brass sections, synth basses, whatever crazy shit you come up with. So for me, that was a pretty free game. And then we had the newcomer, Jack Mueller, the son of Albert Wesker and Sherry Birkin. Mm-hmm. And this was more like a guitar-based Hong Kong action score. So very percussive, but a lot of live guitar playing. So for the macho feeling for the character. I was like, well, I still have a shitty guitar at home, but I'm not sure if I'm able to play it as well as they want us to do it. So maybe 2 stars on that guy. And then I thought, okay, presentation is over, but just like you and me playing the game for the first time, we cleared everything. Like, oh, we got a surprise for you. Ada Wong is back. It's like, for her, we need some sexy spy music and stuff like that. It's like, oh yeah, that's my girl. So I was like, 5 stars on her as well. So I just felt very comfortable with those 2 genres, hybrid action and spy suspense. So now we went for a drinking party, kampai, everybody. And we were sitting down. So I was sitting next to the lead composer, Narita-san. But I do remember the first time he saw me and we met and he said, you, big stomach. It's like, yeah, I'm trying to lose weight. You know?
Damn, that's fucked up.
He was very front with it. But
Damn, wow.
Yeah. So I'm trying to lose weight, and I'm still doing it. But Narita-san said, okay, as you can see, all the people around the table, the guy over there is our sound integration manager, the guy who's going to mix the game and put everything together. He's not really convinced that you're the right guy for the job, but I've been fighting for you to get to this position.
Wow. Oh, shoot.
So do you have anything to show him right now? Like, I know I've seen a YouTube video on the James Bond chasing at the airport in Casino Royale. Do you have it with you? And I said, yeah, sure, I got it right here. Okay, can you just please show him that? So I bring up my PSP, put him, and he handed it over, and he played. The sequence is about 8-9 minutes long. It has a lot of powerful moments, a lot of sneaky moments, and then it revs up the tension and action. So it's like everything that the game might actually have. And I will talk about that later. But anyway, so after he saw that, he said, okay, thumbs up. He doesn't need to worry anymore. But that was kind of weird because they have all these amazing talent. I mean, we have 2 guys from Los Angeles. We have a German guy in Yokohama and me sitting up in a shitty small room in Saitama. We're going to break into this game as soon as possible. But they also gave us some waypointers that they told us about adaptive music. What does adaptive music do? And at this point, since we're going to mainly do it for the PlayStation 3 platform, and then later we're going to port it over to the 360 and PC, they thought a good game to showcase what the system can do was play Uncharted 2. So before we even start, go home. We're going to have maybe 2 weeks until we see each other again. Then we're going to come back. We're going to break down how the music really works. And we got a small manual to see how they want the music integrate with the game and what we can do as musicians to create loop points and stuff. So we got a whole Bible of audio secrets, basically. Unfortunately, I cannot share it with you.
Damn it.
Yes, I'm sorry. NDA on that. But, so I spent 2 weeks playing Uncharted 2, and it's like, what is going on in the music? It's so seamless. Like, wow, it really feels like an interactive experience. And I like, okay, you're Nathan Drake, you're jumping around there. Oh, Kitty got wet. And like, we're like, oh my God, that was probably one of the best games I've ever played.
One of them.
And then Capcom said, we're going to do the same thing. Okay, all right. So now they're giving us a promise that they're telling us how the music was made. It was made in layers that it can fade in and fade out. And Uncharted 2 probably was working with about 11, 12 layers. The first layer is like an ambience track with only synth pad or stuff like that. And then they put in small light percussion, then the basses, and then they bring in the string section, then the woodwinds, and the brass,
A lot of work.
and ba-da, you know, like the big action coming in at the top with a full percussion.
Right.
And it's like, cool. All right, now I'm looking forward to write for Resident Evil 6. So with that mindset, I also was going to be us four guys. Like, actually, two of them are working as a one team. Thomas Padish and Ciliani from LA. And I would take care of one character, and the German would take care of Jake Mueller's campaign. But it turns out we're working together with a Japanese composer team as well. So we were like 16 composers for one game.
Oh my god, that's a lot of. Whoa,
That's a lot to manage.
That's a lot of composers, and then try to keep the quality going between each track. I think that was probably very difficult.
Oh my god.
So now if you buy the album, you can really pick out, oh, that's him. Oh, that's him. Oh, that's her. You can really feel like it's sometimes very uneven. I'm not saying it from a standpoint of view I'm not a music police. I'm not saying what's good or bad. I just feel like there's a certain quality lacking between Japanese music and Western release music. So, I mean,
Who's better?
I think the game really adored much like the music from Modern Warfare 2. Wow, what a killer soundtrack, you know. And it's one guy in charge of everything. I guess it's Klaus Badelt, and he's working with Hans Zimmer. Hans Zimmer wrote the theme, but Klaus Badelt was basically that Pirates of the Caribbean guy. He just created everything for the game. It's like, wow, that's such a nice through line. Everything sounds perfectly mixed. It's all coming together because it was recorded in one place, so there's nothing standing out. And it's like, all right, so now we're dealing with 16 composers, and I had no idea that we were going to work. Yeah,
Who's the DJ?
because time is money.
You gotta mix all those together.
So I think Narita-san, as a lead composer, he basically is like the director. He might tell the composers, okay, for this sequence with Leon as Kennedy, we would like to have some kind of theme from his previous game. And so he picks and chooses certain moments in the game where the theme is required. But otherwise, he just gives us audio direction and some feedback, and we work with that, and we go back. So shifting, sending files back and forth, it was just, I think might have been exhausting for him, but I still think he did a lot of good choices when it comes as I think it was the first time he was the lead composer for a game ever. So now, where was I? All right. So we were trying to learn to write adaptive music, and they promised us that we're going to do it like that in layers. And then we went back to work, 16 composers with the same mindset. Some other composers were like spreading over to the different parts of the game, but I was just focused on Chris and Ada Wong's campaign. But here's the thing. Right at the very end of the game was released in October 2nd, 2012. So in April or May, the music part of the game should be finished. I've wrapped up my work basically in January or February, but then I think maybe Narita-san said, or maybe he felt guilty or something, that I did not have enough tracks in the game. So he was actually offering me, hey, would you like to write some of the online game modes for the game? Like Mercenaries, Onslaught, Agent Hunt, which is a new thing, Invader type style gameplay, and there was one more. And sure, I wrote 80% of all the online game modes for that thing. So
He gave you
it
all.
was very kind of him.
Yeah.
He said, "We need you to do this real fast."
Yeah, right.
We got nobody. Come on, please.
Right.
the strange thing is like, okay, time is money in Japan, so 16 composers, we can compress that timeline to a level where we can actually finish the game on time.
Gotcha.
So I understand the game is too big for only 4 composers, but it would have been cool if we were chosen as the lead composers for each section. So if that was the case, I think we might have an overall better sounding product. Like say, okay, in my case, they told me don't use any. There were certain instruments I was not allowed to use.
Really? Wow.
But then, in the end, they were supposed to be able to transcribe the music with a MIDI and then make it a musical score. And we're supposed to record it with a Sydney Philharmonic Orchestra.
Oh, shoot.
So I was like, oh, cool, that would be great. But as you already know, there's a story. None of my music was recorded with the orchestra. And I was like, why? Well, and Narita said, your music scoring, the way you program your strings sounds good enough for us that we don't really need to record it. You saved a lot of money here.
That's all he see. That's all he
Oh,
saw.
man.
It sounds too
Yeah.
good. You're good.
Yeah.
I was like, sure, that's a great review of your work, but I was like, I wish we could have something. So actually, for one of my tracks for Ada Wong, they actually recorded an extra line that I did not write in the score. So they made a dynamic brass horn section that swells. I was like, okay, that's something, but it just seems a little bit off from the synthesizer program strings that I've done. But if they say it works, then it works. Right. All right, so now the recording session is done. It's now down to the audio director to integrate the music into the game. And I did not know anything was going on. So for me, I was just now sitting and waiting for the game to be released. So Tokyo Game Show in September, which happens this month again. They had the booth up and running. They were playing the Resident Evil 6, like the trailers. They had a huge booth. I went in and I got to play a little bit on my own campaign.
That's crazy.
And it's like, but it was just so noisy, so I could not really figure out what's going on with the music anyway.
That sucks.
So I just had to wait until the release date. I got a free copy from Capcom. It's like, okay, that's a bonus. And I put it into my PlayStation 3 and I installed, oh man, those long installation times we
I
had.
forgot about those.
Oh man,
Yeah.
Those are not fun.
It's like Metal Gear Solid 4 all over
Oh,
again.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
that hurts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, really
Couple
hurts.
hours.
So anyway, so I said, okay, I'm going to play my campaign all the way from start to finish. And finally we get to the first major song in the game where I've written music for is the crossing of the Odanian Bridge. And you get the paratroopers coming in from the sky.
And it's the first time you hear
Okay,
it?
cool, my music started now, you know.
This is the first time you see it with the game?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
This is the first time I see everything there. So I wish there was more talk between us, obviously. But here's when I realized, wait a minute, what happened to the dynamic music? It's playing everything all the way through exactly as I've written it.
Yeah.
I was like, then I start to analyze. Oh, I understand now. So what happened was that you have so many audio channels, and the PlayStation 3 is not in well, it's not the best system to say if you don't know how to code for it.
Yeah.
It's all processor.
If you compare it to Uncharted 2, you can start to see where the problems are happening. So in Uncharted 2, it's all very scripted. It's all very planned out. And you only deal with maybe 4 to 5 enemies at times, and usually you're sniping from a very far position. So, but you still hear the speech and the scripted speech happening. You have a 5.1 surround. You have close microphone shots. Recordings of weapons. You have far distance recording of the reverb of those weapons, and like many things going on. And that maybe is occupying maybe 30 to 40 audio tracks easily.
Limited tracks.
Jesus Christ.
And I sent my music in. Sometimes the worst piece of biggest layered tracks I had to send in was like 32 tracks
Damn.
of music. And that was a wish that we could really integrate the music into the game. To have it so separate as much as possible would be awesome. But I start playing the game. I was like, oh wow. And okay, Resident Evil, you have maybe 10 to 15 enemies at once, and all that sound is happening. It was like, and script is like, I can easily figure out we're dealing already with 50 audio tracks. So have another 30 tracks on top of that. It's just gonna be a bottleneck effect on the memory. Right. It's gonna slow everything. So they just turned all my 32 tracks into a stereo track.
Oh, they compressed it. They compressed all that work. Damn.
So it's like, if they would have told us, if the programmer said, I'm sorry, we cannot do this, as a musician, I would have written the music a lot more differently, like real hills and valleys in volume to really simulate what it could be, what we call chance, probability of chance, which actually happens in a lot of games. It makes you feel like the music's reacting to what you're doing, but it's it's just you being lucky, combining your actions with what's happening on the screen.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah. So unfortunately, there was something I really wish to have rectified. If they could have told us that, sorry, we cannot really do adaptive music the way we wanted, I would definitely have rewritten a lot of music for the game, obviously.
So when they remastered it, did they do it in the remaster?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, that was the funny thing. I just bought the remastered for my Nintendo Switch. It looks fantastic. I was like, wow, that's not a bad rendition. But unfortunately, no. The problem still stays. They have not done.
That's crazy. It does make sense though, like you said. Like Sony, what was it? Uncharted is a Sony property.
They're a music company.
Well, yeah, they're a music company. They make products, but they specialize. They made their own processor. So all their studios that made games, that produced games,
they could do it on Super Nintendo. That was a killer music.
Well, they had their own chip that they.
No, they couldn't do it.
No, they had their own chip. The effects chip was awesome.
No, it was awesome. Yes.
But no, so it makes sense. It's crazy because there was a lot of games, especially Resident Evil. That series was killed on, because of the 360. Like it was always a superior version whenever you compared, to PlayStation 3.
Oh, the glory days.
But that was it. Yeah.
The only game I heard.
That's crazy to think that you go through all that trouble.
Yeah.
To
and then they just say,
and then they don't even use it.
They don't even tell you.
Yeah.
But the only game I heard with adaptive music that I've seen recently was and actually did it good was Streets of Rage 4.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that's the only game I've seen that built off wherever you were.
However,
it just builds off of that. It doesn't matter what part of the track you're in. If you pass the level, it'll drop down. It'll change.
Right, nice transition into the next.
And I don't know how they did it, but they did it good.
I think now
but
that
it's less tracks.
I think that Daniel said that. What was it?
I mean, no, you're dealing with the punch.
That might have been that.
No. Every time you go to the door, music drops. It goes down to just
elevator
percussion.
stage.
Yeah,
and then it goes into that. Every stage, the whole time you go through.
Goes from like the bathhouse, and it waits for you.
Yeah,
but I mean, you're only dealing probably with punches,
right,
and screams once in a while of the guy getting
right.
hit. But that's not that many tracks, so that's probably why they
Yeah,
made it good.
that's rare.
But they did a great job on that one. But it makes
so the way they used the adaptive music in Resident Evil 6 now became more like a transition from the next loop to the next, from one loop to the next loop. And that's pretty much what's happening with Street of Rage 2. So they kind of like divide like what even bar can we transition to the next loop so it goes neatly into the next section. So that's basically what they did here. So they rounded off to this closest 2 bar, I believe.
Okay.
So if you like, I think that the coolest track I've ever done is when you're playing as Chris and you're flying the VTOL, the Harrier jet. And that's like the most complicated piece of music I've ever written. But it's like 4 minutes long, and it's like 6 different parts happening all through it. So we were doing like this. Okay, so they're flying the plane. That's more like my heroic moment to have a little bit of Hollywood in there.
Die Hard.
And then when
that was definitely
killed off all the like the ship's missile systems. Chris is gonna Pierce is gonna jump down. So now we have a stretch of like a film score section that only plays once, and then the next loop begins for Pierce running around disarming bombs or whatever, and you're still Chris shooting down monsters to help him, right? And when he's done disarming that, there's a moment in the music when he blows up the first container, and I had no idea the music would match up perfectly to that moment.
Wow.
So
That's cool.
they probably scripted the some of the stuff to match the music. So every time the music explodes, the music like erupts. So that was like one of those chance moments that happened.
Gotcha.
But it was not like
It wasn't planned that way.
yeah, it was not planned that way. So I was surprised when people play it and the music just matches what he's doing. I was like, I did not see that. But anyway,
That's dope.
he
when
comes
that
down
happens.
to the last bomb or whatever, and then this huge monster comes up, and then I have to bring out the Godzilla monster cue, and then we have another section where Pierce has to run off to jump into the jet Harrier, and that's just another loop. Once he reaches the end of the crane and jumps in, another part of the music just transitions in very nicely, and then you have to now try to shoot the monster that's technically invisible. We cannot kill it. It's just a scripted sequence to wait for the timer clock to go down until you can shoot the missile.
Yes.
Bam, 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 bam. That was like the ending of my cue. I was like, but how it played out in the game, I think that's probably one of my favorite moments where you, like, the music is really pulsing with you. You feel the adrenaline coming to you. But as a musician, I just looked at it, okay, he's going from there to this point to this one. So it was more clinical from me, from my standpoint.
Right.
But when to see people play it, I actually, for once, I feel very excited.
Really?
So that's probably my favorite cue in the entire game when it comes to campaigns. That's the moment.
Nice.
So the flight of the VTOL, I think it's called, and you can find it on people playing it on YouTube.
That's cool.
And it's really, really cool.
I can only imagine.
So-
I just like to see that
so that's-
after you do the,
So that's
and then you're just like, oh, this is how it ends up. You see it all put together.
That's amazing.
I figure that's how
That's a
like
good
when
feeling.
actors do their scenes and they don't see the movie until
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
edited together, and they're like, this is way better than I imagined it could have been.
You know,
or it could be real bad.
You know, it could be a equivalent for us is like if we're watching, like our viewers watch us,
Yeah,
like a reaction,
have a reaction to
of
it.
our
yeah.
I like imagine that. What the heck? See people react.
It's trippy,
I
man.
think we have a viewer, no?
Yeah. Yeah. Film a video of yourself watching us. I want to see that. I've been curious.
They'd be like,
I'd be curious about that. Yeah.
The video be mad quiet.
Yeah, make a
Yeah.
reaction video.
So yeah, I mean that's a scary thing when I'm talking about music. If sometimes I might have to be stopped and like, I don't understand this. Can you explain it in a different way? Of course, I will do that. But adaptive music as a concept was pretty new for me as well. So before that, I was just writing loops. But to really be part of that interactive experience was a learning curve as well. So that was in the Sound Bible as well. So yeah, it was all a learning experience. And I think it was the 2 years. Yeah, I wrote music for 2 years for the project.
Wow.
But then remember, 16 other composers was part of this journey.
2 years.
Like, how do you get all that to work
That's
together?
insane.
You know?
And
That's-
it's crazy because when we played the game.
Yeah.
you
You
need
play,
2
right?
years for that.
And you look at everybody takes it for granted. Let's be
You
honest.
don't realize there's
we
that
take
many
it for
things.
granted. We know that the game takes years for it to be developed and made. But when you play it, it's a couple of hours.
The amount
Especially
of
with
work,
sound design.
you know.
the amount of
But-
work that goes into
Oh,
a lot of these
yeah.
games. Like we were just talking about how the amount of work that went into Battletoads, from
Yeah.
the voice acting, the animation, to everything that's in the game. And then you gotta, sometimes you're wrapped up in it, like, oh, it's just another game that I'm playing. But it's like,
Right.
you take a step back, it's like the amount of people and the amount of work that went into this thing, this creation.
Yeah.
It's mind blowing.
Yeah.
And
And that's why I wish they had a documentary about every big title.
Yeah.
It can't be every title, but every big title I wish they had a documentary about the making of it, so you can see the behind the scenes of
Yes.
everyone who put their heart and soul into it. As I remember the one I saw for God of War, like the newest one.
Oh yeah.
That brought tears to my eyes. Like, it was insane how much went into that. And when they
Yeah.
showed the orchestra playing it, and the first time they saw the trailer to the people, and the people went crazy and they were crying, like, that was, it's crazy to see the reaction that they get and the feeling that they want.
It's
from that.
not like, it's not just like something, because we're used to, from the jump, like from NES and all
Yeah.
that, just things just being put together in front of you, and you
It's
play
crazy.
it, you like it, and whatever, and it's no thing to you. You never think of.
I like to see the reaction
Behind the scenes.
of what people,
Yeah.
of what the people who made it,
Yeah.
the reactions
Yeah.
that they get from the people who see it.
Yeah.
That's great. That's why YouTube
Yeah.
reaction videos are so popular.
Yeah.
Because people want to see, do you feel the same way I did about this?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
how did you
That-
take that? Or
that-
you make me feel like, I like the
It's
way
like-
you
It's
react.
funny because we get our indie eShop. We have
shit.
an
My bad.
indie eShop recap reaction show
Yeah.
that we do, for the month, and
Creators get
we
to see.
get we get a lot of creators, indie developers that
See our reactions.
see our reactions, and they actually email us. They reach out to us and they say, "Wow, we really,
Yeah.
we really we're impressed with what you had to say, and
Well,
thank you
especially
so
in the
much."
indie
And
market, because they don't see much of a reaction to anything they do.
exactly,
Yeah.
they just put it out there and hope to
And if it's a breakthrough title, you'll see some reactions.
Yeah.
But,
Right.
if it's no name, you don't know anything about it. You just see the
Right.
trailer, you just put it out
Yeah.
there.
right.
You're like,
Nah,
oh, wow. That's
Everybody who does work in video games, I don't think they get enough recognition.
awesome. It's hard work.
And they don't get enough credit for the work they put in, and it's crazy. And I had that similar feeling that you had when I was playing Astral Chain, and that's why I always keep bothering you guys about Astral Chain.
Because you want to see.
No, because I remember I was playing one of the last parts of the game, and just the way the scene was playing out, it's a boss battle.
Yes.
And the way the music for that is one of the best soundtracks I've ever heard in my life. And the I hope that's not us. No, but like it's one of the best soundtracks I've ever heard. And I remember I was playing out that part. I had goosebumps. I've never had goosebumps playing a part in a video game in my entire life. I've never had goosebumps.
Same with Neo Automata.
And I was just like, this is insane, because that's why we're so happy to have Daniel on, is because music is so important in video games, and
Absolutely.
and it plays out the scene and the story so well, and if it's not done right, it's just like you don't really
moment can
care
fall
about
flat.
it.
You don't remember
Yeah,
it.
you don't remember
You don't
it.
remember it.
Even
And
if it plays well, but if you do the soundtrack the way the character is going through what they're going through, and you're playing through it, that's what you remember,
Right.
and you remember the way you felt during it also, and
Yes.
that's so important in games, especially
Well,
nowadays.
And I really like the way for Fallen City Brawl, Daniel had that your video on like how you produce
in the Kickstarter.
in the Kickstarter,
Right.
yeah, and that to me
That was awesome.
was
That's
like,
how-
you don't see that
That's
in
why.
Kickstarters.
That's
first of
why
all.
I don't give a damn. Even though they didn't make the money for
Yeah.
it, it's going.
Yes.
That game's coming out.
Yes.
one way or another,
Yes.
because that soundtrack is dope, and
Agreed.
I like Mike's vision on it, and
Yes.
it's going to come out one way or another.
Yes.
But
Well,
that
to see the behind the scenes of how you did it.
it was dope.
I think you
It-
should do a whole thing, a whole video.
Document it.
Do it. Yeah.
Yeah, document everything.
Because
that soundtrack.
I am doing one for the main theme right now.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
how it looks.
Perfect.
the way
Yeah.
you do it,
No, it's
and the
good.
way you can do it like live like that,
That's dope.
Yeah.
and you
Yes.
see the progression of what you're doing and how it transforms,
Because it's a story that you're
it's crazy.
it's a
I had
story
that-
that how you're creating and you're involving the audience, you're involving
That's
involving
dope.
everybody.
and even the
into
parts
your-
that you didn't agree with, you're like, oh, this part is doing this. I
Right.
heard it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I can hear that.
Yes.
And then the fact that you switched it all up, and I was like, oh that's perfect.
Yeah.
It's perfect now. On the fly like that. And I was like, you
Yes.
changed it completely.
There
It's
needs to be
amazing.
more of that.
I want to
There
see that.
needs to be more of that in the industry.
Kind of
Yes.
like unveiling everything.
Yeah.
Pulling the curtain back a little
Hell
bit.
yeah!
Well, they
People
do it
need
for
to see that.
They do it for movies. You see in the in the Blu-rays,
Right, yeah.
they have the behind the
Yep.
scenes,
I mean, it could be a
deleted
double-edged
scenes
sword,
or whatever it is, and
Because you could be like, yeah, this part sucks, but everyone loves that part, and then you change it, and you're like, now you ruined it. So it could go both ways,
Yeah.
but
yeah.
but
People want to see.
No, but all
You wanna see what's
people
going on.
want to
even
see.
if it's with commentary, like
Yeah.
they don't even
people
want
want to see it.
I
Like,
like
hey,
the-
this is the
it's
part I
dope.
thought this was a good idea, but
But we're really
whatever.
into music also. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm when I did that video, I was like, you know what, this could be a little fun idea to see how fast I work. But the only thing I do cut in the video is like when I'm choosing my instrument, because that's not interesting for me.
No, it's
So yes, try to move on as quick as possible, but you can still see the time code, how much time I spent on that thing. But I think like you said in the beginning of the song, I had a section that I just didn't feel it was just too much happening at once there. But I think the part I really had to be careful was the guitar solo. And I reduced that 16 bar to a 4 bar guitar solo because I just checked Top Gun. I was like, yeah, that's the way we have to do it. Just smaller solo, because if the music comes back, it doesn't sound so repetitive. And so it's like small psychological musical tricks I have to balance with. But also that I always work, like Mike said in his interview, have that status of a flow state, the Bruce Lee approach to music, as I would take it, like be like water.
Be water.
What everyone throws at you in yourself, when you come back, you have to learn to look onto yourself from the outside. So next morning I wake up and I listen to the song. It's like, what the fuck? It didn't sound like anything like this yesterday. Because ear fatigue. So the first thing I do before I continue the song, I mix. So reevaluate myself. So I do mixing first. Maybe that takes about 10 minutes. Just set the levels a little bit. And then I continue to add stuff to the work. So that's how my workflow works at the moment. And I think it's actually maybe a little bit better, because every time you're in the zone, you write the track, I need to upload this to SoundCloud as fast as possible. Right. Oh shit, this is going to be dope. And when people say, oh, this sounds like shit, it's like,
gotta leave it.
Like, okay, you didn't take time, you're stressing it through. And that was probably the problem with me when I started my game journey in Japan. It's like, I was always a fast worker, like one song a day, but I didn't like have any second thoughts of thinking about mastering or try to make the songs like sit there and get a life of its own and go back to it. That was never in my mind, because I was like you. I'm too scared to lose the shit right now. I need to be finished with this song today. Because if I save the song and I come back the next day, I'm just not going to feel like I'll be able to uphold the standard of the song. But today I know I can do it. And that's the thing. When we come back to the song the next day, you're going to realize, oh shit, I fucked up. I need to set my levels now this time around. And it's going to be better in the long run. So as we talked about Street Fighter last time, like one song or a demo-ready song, I can have that done within 3 hours. And just to have something to show to the client. That's like my minimum baseline, 3 hours for just a concept.
So it's like I'm putting it in like a art reference, like a sketch, like for somebody drawing.
You can throw up a skeleton of it.
Throw up a sketch of an idea.
Storyboard.
You know.
Basically a sketch with some colors on it.
Yeah. Just to get an overall idea of what it can look like. It's not the finished product.
Then you got to ink it
But
over.
here's the idea. It's, it can be, tweaked.
And that's a funny thing, because when people say, can you send us a demo here in Japan? Of course, a lot of people sit down with an acoustic guitar and record some shitty audio on their phone and send it in. I mean, that's what people think what a demo was. But in Japan, the definition of a demo is basically virtually almost a full product.
Wow.
So there's no time to do skeleton structures.
Wow.
They just really
money.
need to, you have to set the bar really high for it to be a demo for the client. Because they have to, in the end, finally understand what instruments I'm trying to pick here and what the chord structure is, and does it reflect the character sound-wise. So I have to have all those ideas already inside the demo. But later, sure, I can change the melody, I can change some brass section over there, no problem.
But they need a full idea.
I have a question to ask, but I'm going to use the bathroom first.
I have a question.
Really pee.
I have a question.
Don't forget. Go ahead.
What, excluding any soundtrack that you've worked on, what's your favorite game soundtrack?
Ooh.
Oh, I have so many, depending on the genre. But if we take fighting games like you guys, I love Streets of Rage 2. I think that's perfect fighting game soundtrack.
On top.
Look at shooters, definitely, I would say, Modern Warfare 2 and Battlefield 1942. I guess it's also really cool.
Have you heard Near
but-
Automata?
Actually, one of my friends is singing on the soundtrack. Amy Blackschlager. Yeah, she's a great singer. But yes, I heard the soundtrack. It's fantastic. But I never played the game.
You're missing out. You gotta play it.
But I think the game that really responds to me is like sometimes I want to feel smart. I want to feel like a detective. So, L.A. Noire, hands down.
Okay.
Beautiful music. But it's so sad that the game did not get the full development. It was so much chaos going on in that game. But I really enjoyed the music.
The Switch?
You get a remaster, and I got to play it now on the Switch as well, and it's awesome.
It was surprising it got a remaster.
Yeah, got Mikey Beats. I watched him die many times.
Wait, that was
L.A. Noire.
L.A. Noire. Oh, yeah.
I played it for a little bit. I didn't get pulled into it completely.
I did.
I liked watching it a lot.
I beat it. It
I
was
liked
good.
watching it a lot.
The facial expressions were top notch.
Yeah.
You know what?
That's probably the best I've seen.
You know how we were talking about behind the scenes?
Yeah.
I watched the behind the scenes documentary of that game,
Okay.
and it was actually supposed to be way more epic than it was. The
That was
the
by
Grand
Rockstar,
Theft,
right?
yeah, the Grand Theft Auto, like the driving sequences, they actually had more.
They should do it again.
Doing a sequel.
They
Do a
should.
sequel.
They should do a sequel,
new
man.
systems.
That was a
They could
really.
easily.
I
they could
love
do
the.
that.
That was the one game that just got me into like the interrogations and everything.
People
like
in
that.
their
I loved it.
backyard running around the house. It was crazy.
The facial expression, the motion capture that
Yeah,
they did with
It's
the
the best I've seen.
really good, man.
Well, I mean,
That and
what
Last
you
of
call
Us
it?
2.
Last of Us 2 had like the best.
Well,
That's probably-
obviously,
yeah,
but-
Last
well,
of Us
with the
2.
last gen with
Right.
last
Oh,
gen
No, if
technology,
they did it again, it would
Yeah.
look like that.
but yeah,
They don't have those expressions in Horizon.
Oh,
They have the graphics.
Yeah,
they
not
said
yet.
they're just like, yeah, what way you?
Yeah.
mean? I'm like, yo, my man's mouth is hurt. That
they're
Botox is
puppets.
hurting.
They're
That's
puppets,
what happened.
man.
You played late. It came
I'm
out like
sad.
3 years ago.
No, but I see the difference with
Yeah.
that. But I mean, the game's still epic. Yeah.
Well, it's funny that people don't understand how complicated making game music is. Even back in the 8-bit days,
It's
Like,
Well, they're limited. So.
if you had say Ninja Gaiden, for example,
oh yeah,
if you try and remake that track,
it's hard.
and you understand how many layers of sound,
Especially stage 1 and
You know what?
fucking the first. Yeah, it's
I
very
tried-
tough.
I
Dude.
tried it.
It's hard as hell to make.
Ninja
over.
Gaiden 2.
Oh,
the
that
stage
first
1.
stage song. Oh,
Listen,
that is
It's and Ninja
catchy.
Gaiden 2, right?
Yeah,
that's one of my
that is
favorites.
I attempted
fire.
it. It's actually I almost did.
It's
I'm
ridiculous.
very close. I got like halfway through.
It sounds simple at the beginning, and then it gets like,
You
Yeah,
have
no,
to
I
be-
guess.
Well, the thing is, you have to be able to break it up into sections.
Yeah.
like perfectly.
That's
into
how I.
sections.
That's how I do. Well, I play by ear,
Ninja
so I have
Gaiden's
to
a
listen to it
master of that.
and then try to emulate it.
But that's when you had to get the jingles right.
Yeah.
Like the melodies had to be right.
Yeah,
I would
because
love
You had
it.
nothing to work with.
I would love to hear the behind the scenes on how that was composed.
Ninja
Oh, I
Gaiden.
wish they had.
I would love to hear if
old
they had
grainy
like if they can-
VHS footage. Of
Yeah,
that. It would be crazy.
For Ninja Gaiden, for
Tracking
Castlevania,
problems.
and Phantasy Star 2, I want to hear.
Oh,
I want to
man.
know what was going
Dude,
on. With
Outrun.
that.
I'll
Final
go way
Fantasy.
back.
Outrun, yeah, Outrun, yeah, Outrun.
Outrun would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, now that's a funny thing, you know. When talk about Outrun, you think about the next level, like Sega Rally. You think about Daytona,
Yeah.
USA.
But nobody did it
Like-
quite like Outrun. Though.
Splash
Yeah.
Wave, man.
Yeah, Splash
That was
Wave,
one of the first games
Was it
that
musical
was like
sound
the
shower?
soundtrack.
Was that Splash
Magical-
Wave?
Magical
Sound
Sound
Shower.
Magical Sound.
And what was the other one? There was one more.
I don't remember.
Oh, there was 3 of them that were
yeah,
like.
there's only 3 tracks.
Yeah, there was 3 that were like,
but that was one of the.
I
games.
would drive to those. like, I'd drive to
You
those.
stop
in
at a
real
red
life.
light.
Let's go. What's wrong, officer?
Turn down your radio.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You don't want to get shot down with music.
Yo, he got shot to fucking magical sound shower.
That would not be a good
I
thing.
mean,
But you can't be at a
I mean,
stoplight
that's
with
craziest thing.
Uh,
Like when I got invited to this kind of community of composers. Like
Yeah.
I was sitting next to the guy who wrote music for Shenmue 2,
Oh.
and that's the same guy, Takenori Mitsuyoshi.
yeah.
He's a great singer. He's the guy singing the Daytona.
Really?
Sitting next to me.
Who said
It's
game
like,
over
this-
with me?
Holy
Yeah.
shit. And across from me sits Hideyuki And he's the guy who's responsible for the first Yakuza soundtrack.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I was like, he's sitting right in front of me. I was sitting
That's
between
insane.
Wow.
and down there it says Yoko Shimomura from Street Fighter 2. I was like,
Gosh.
what the hell is going? And that was like the first time I really got to meet the people in the industry. But I had barely any titles under my
That's
belt at the
mind-blowing.
time, so
Hmm.
that was a crazy meetup, but really fun. But yeah, as you know, I really love Japanese city pop and their jazz fusion music, and those racing games are fantastic. But yeah, when you went out to the toilet, you said you had a question for me.
I do, and unfortunately, it's the last question we have because
Okay.
To wrap things up. You had said off air that you had dabbled into voice acting.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I want to
yeah.
know, like, how many characters do you do? Like, do you make your own characters? What do you explain that?
Well, I mean, it's really difficult to put in because it's part of my experience when I was learning English. I like to imitate. So it's always been part of my identity. Whenever I speak English, I try to put myself in a role. And if I have to, like, really sound Arthurian, I had to go British English, like those space Nazis that you hear. Like, you may fire when ready. Like, all that snobbery. I mean, it's really fun. But of course, I like to like take a phrase and just copy it down to its tiniest detail. But to try to stay in character is sometimes really, really hard because you just might have learned just one phrase to get the voice right.
Oh yeah.
Like, I really like to do the thing between Nicolas Cage and that British dude in Gone in 60 Seconds.
Oh yeah.
The British dude comes up and says, I need to take one of my pieces off so I can hear myself. So, do I look like an asshole to you? Yeah, you do. Like, those small glitches, you know? Really fun. Of course, Arnold Schwarzenegger is really fun to
It's
do.
always a
I'm the governor of California, you know, it's like very
The chopper.
down in your throat.
Yeah.
Go now. Get the new
Yeah,
chopper. Sorry.
I'm gonna like, I'm gonna be smart and say I'll be back. James, is this really right? Yeah, it's right. I'll be. I'm a Terminator. I'm a computer. I will never use contractions. Trust me, it's gonna be great, huh, Arnold. Okay, I'll be back. I'll be back. And of course, Keanu Reeves, like, whoa, like, all right, you cannot treat me with this Gestapo crap. I know my rights. How about I give you a better deal? I give you the finger, and you give me my fucking phone call. Like, maybe that's perfect right now. My voice is not warmed up yet, but I still think that the character can nail the best right now is, okay, pardon the pun, I'm going to nail anybody. But Sean Connery. I mean, he's so easy to make. This is Sean Connery. I'm speaking Russian right now. It's fantastic. And now I'm American. Now I'm Indiana Jones' dad. And now I'm a Spaniard for Highlander. And I'm supposed to be Egyptian. All the same.
You said you do Nicolas Cage too?
Nicolas Cage did.
You already did
Oh,
it.
you did?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Okay, let's say Cameron Poe from
Oh my God.
Connery.
Cameron Poe.
Yeah, honey bunny, it's gonna be all right. Yeah, that's right.
Nicolas Cage is
Oh,
hilarious.
drop everything you get. But
Oh man.
yeah, so maybe not the best, but I try it. Like, Bill Paxton from Aliens, man.
Oh.
Isn't that the Game Over man?
What are we gonna do now?
Probably.
Game over, man.
yes.
I cannot do that. Game over, man. Game over. That's right.
That's an iconic line.
Great. Game over, man.
There's no better way to end the show than that.
I like when he sings songs and stuff out there. It's like plays Texas Hick.
Quick shout out to Media Glitch and Turbo in the chat.
Oh,
Yo, what
what's
up,
man?
Media Glitch?
What's up, fellas?
What's going on?
What up,
What's
y'all?
up?
Good to have y'all in here.
Turbo, who's Turbo?
Turbo should have been here.
He's not here. That's it.
here.
We gotta put his chair away.
Yeah, I know.
What is
Where is it?
What is amazing intros now that he does?
Yeah.
It's like wrestling
Yeah.
intros.
He's
Yeah.
cutting a promo.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Welcome to the Level 857 podcast.
Oh, we gotta
Sean
use that.
Connery.
Yeah, you know what?
We use that sound bite
Definitely,
right there.
man.
Use that sound
We're gonna have
bite
to
right
get some voice
It's going to be on a commercial.
We have Sean Connery.
for some commercial.
This is Sean Connery.
We gotta.
You got a deep fake of face.
Nicolas
Not
Cage.
first,
Over
eh?
it.
Hi. I can't do Nicolas Cage.
Hi, I'm Nicolas Cage.
Check out the Level 857 podcast.
Yes. I like this.
Nicolas Cage is so dry.
I love
It's
it.
so dry.
It's so good, man.
That's awesome.
I mean, Owen Wilson and Nicolas Cage are really close together when you really look at the voices.
On the nose.
But
Yeah.
Owen Wilson is more like saucy. It's like, yeah, well, I feel really horny right now. Want to swim?
That's that drawl. They have that down
Yeah.
south drawl.
Yeah, they got that something going
I don't know
on.
where
Yeah,
they're from,
man.
but yeah, definitely.
Freaking Owen Wilson's very nasally.
Oh yeah.
He's got that
Because he has a massive nose.
is a giant
Yeah.
broken nose.
broken nose.
Yeah,
It's
his
crooked
broken
as
nose
hell.
is blocking out.
He never got
He
that
never
fixed.
fixed it.
Never fixed that
Because
shit.
that's
Never.
Hollywood. If somebody's giving you millions of dollars because you have broke nose, you wouldn't fix it either.
They're like, no, we want that sound. Don't fix that shit. But I can't breathe. No, fuck it. No, use that shit.
I can't breathe.
I can't breathe.
But that's perfect.
Wow. Remember they have the video. They changed the
Wow.
lightsaber sounds to him going,
Yeah.
wow, wow. It's like the dumbest shit in the
That
world.
was great. I mean, I think the character is kind of overrated right now. I mean, Bruce Willis, I mean, he was great in the 80s, but today he doesn't really seem like he cares.
Nah,
about
he
it.
just
No.
shows up. He just shows
I
up.
don't even see him in anything.
He
Kind
just,
of just shows up for a paycheck.
yeah, he just shows
He
up.
gets a
How
paycheck.
about, what
And
was the last movie he was in?
He was in
Come to LA.
Death
It's going to
Wish.
be great. Have some
was
fun.
really
a few laughs.
that was the last movie he was in.
I don't know if
Wish
it was the
is
last one,
done,
but that was the
yeah.
last one I saw with Bruce Willis in it.
Yeah, that was his retirement movie.
I saw the last Die Hard movie. That was.
Red.
Which one?
Oh, Red was a while ago.
Oh,
yeah.
Red was yeah.
That was a hot
Red
minute.
1 and 2 were
That
pretty
wasn't
funny.
bad.
actually.
Retired, extremely dangerous.
But I can't remember.
But yeah, that's
Die Hard. I fell asleep twice.
For the last one?
And they didn't have subtitles in the one that you got, so they were talking for a hot minute, and I'm like, I don't care because I don't know what they're saying.
You can turn it on.
Oh, you can?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, because I just passed out. I'm like, I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know.
Oh,
subtitles
man.
on.
They were talking for a hot minute, man. I'm like, oh my
Damn.
god,
Yeah, no,
done.
it wasn't a good movie.
I was done.
though. It wasn't a good movie.
Fuck
But
that.
anyway,
Invitations are great.
yeah, your impressions are
Yeah.
good, man, and you're very talented. Really like your work.
Hell yeah, man.
As always, it's a pleasure having you
Yeah, man.
for the second
Oh,
time in
likewise.
a row.
Thank you.
The first guest ever, 2 weeks in a row, man.
Yeah, that's crazy.
man.
Now next week. Nah.
He's gonna be on the third.
What's your schedule looking like?
We actually have it.
At least we got through the 2 big games so far, and yeah, the stories to get to those places has always been a little bit of a story I want to share right, and
Yeah.
I'm so happy that you guys doesn't do too much cutting. You keep everything in.
Oh, yeah.
I'm extremely happy that this story now finally is coming out. So
Yeah, hell yeah.
I'm glad. Thank you so much for having me on the show, and I'm looking forward to the next thing, whatever that's going to be. But Fallen City Brawl, definitely videos will come up through my progress of writing music for the game, for sure.
Looking forward.
That's what I'm looking
We'll be
forward to.
waiting for all that, man.
Yeah,
Definitely
we'll have you
looking
on.
forward to it.
Tell some more stories when you get those going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. And we'll keep in touch, man.
Yep.
Yeah, send me your music.
Ah, yes.
All
I'll
right.
send you more.
What's that? A 857 Daniel Lindholm collab? Maybe in the future. What's going on?
I don't know. I don't know.
right.
I don't know.
It's all
I don't
music,
know.
man. It's
I
all
don't
music.
know.
I don't know, man. But yeah, we're in talks right now of actually releasing. Right now, I've sent it to you in private, but we're in talks of releasing it on our channel, like as a new series.
Might be a
So
show. Might be a series.
it might be a series. Might be a new video series that we're trying out. But
We're doing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that we're working on, man.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, man. But thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank
Take
you,
care.
Daniel.
Thank you.
Be good, brother.
Thank you.
Awesome, y'all.
You know what's messed up? Or actually, I don't think it's messed up. It's just what it is right now. I listen to more video game music than I do regular music. Like,
It's not messed
just-
up
that's
because I
just
do
the
the
way it
same.
is.
like
I do the
like,
same.
like when I work out or if I'm like whatever. I listen
man.
to more video game music on my on my shit just to play it.
I do the
I
same.
do a mix of both.
Yeah.
Because I was baking the other day and I was listening to the Streets of Rage soundtrack.
Which one?
Oh,
No, Streets
Had
of
to
Rage
make some-
4.
Four.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
and
Oh, I
I'm
got the
just-
whole thing in
and
a
I'm
row,
just-
right? Yeah, I
and
got
I'm
the whole
just-
thing in a
yo,
row.
and I'm just
Yep.
sitting there grooving like the
Oh.
character
Yeah.
select. I'm like, yo, this is
Oh no, it's so good.
I'll listen to Streets of Rage 2 also.
Streets of Rage 2 is still dope.
Yeah,
One
I'll
is
still
still
listen.
fire.
Yeah.
One is fire
Yes.
as fuck.
I
3,
was
fuck
listening to-
3.
I was listening to Pop. I knew Ariana Grande and Lady
Yeah,
Gaga.
All right, anyway, man.
It's a good song. It's a good song.
Dude, man.
And video game music.
And,
Al,
and
Al,
video game
you can
music.
you're the only one who's here who could actually agree with this. Is they gotta get onto that Astral Chain
Yeah,
soundtrack, man.
Listen,
That
I-
is one of the best soundtracks in the world.
I made
man.
him a
As
believer.
As soon as you get on that Nier Automata soundtrack.
I'm in the middle of. I'm catching up on games.
Yeah,
man.
Catching up on games. It's on a list. It's on a list.
It's on the list too. So yeah.
But that's a lot longer than Astral Chain. So you got.
Yeah, Astral Chain is another.
That's like 50 hours.
All these excuses.
Dude, that's
Astral
that's
Chain-
50 hours,
Hey,
dude.
50 hours.
You know what's crazy is I remember like when you would describe beating the game in that last sequence, and I remember when I did it,
I'm sure it's dope.
and I was
It's
like,
heavy. It's heavy.
I was like, damn, I'm the only one right now that's experiencing this right now. This is fucking awesome. And I don't want to
You're
say anything.
You're playing an anime
Exactly.
Yeah.
with
And I was like-
incredible music.
And I'm like, I don't want to say anything, but I'm like, somebody has to fucking play this.
telling
game.
you,
Somebody has to play this
Happy,
game.
shout out to Happy Console Gamer. He got back
Yes.
to us. I need to when he's finally on the podcast, whenever that is in the future, because he said he'd be on.
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
talking some Astral Chain, and I want to see his head. His head exploded just like Victor Lucas's head exploded when they were
Yes.
talking about it.
Yeah.
It's a common reaction.
It's the same feeling. I need to talk about that game with them.
He went and bought the soundtrack too, man. Immediately.
There's only
Should have.
Well,
There's a few
dude,
games
shit.
that warrant. I need the soundtrack for.
Astral
Right.
Chain is definitely one of those.
Yeah, it's one of
Definitely
those.
one of
It's up there.
in my top 10 games all time soundtracks. That's in my top 10 easily.
Jeez.
Easily top
Yeah,
10
yeah.
soundtracks. Top 5 is tough.
Yeah, yeah.
Top 5 is tough,
Yeah,
but
that's a
but,
tough
I
but
couldn't even determine that.
it might make it in top 5, but top 10 easily.
Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
What's the one with the jazz? The
Yo, that's Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
yes, I love that
Yo,
track.
it's and they're singing.
I ain't buying
Like
that.
mid fight, yo, they're singing. They're singing. Like someone's like singing hardcore.
You got
during
Wolverine
one of those
fighting.
tracks.
Oh, wait, no.
Dropping like serious vocals. And I'm like,
Yeah, they're going hard, man.
I'm like, okay.
And no
They're
lyrics.
going-
There's no lyrics.
No,
It's-
no.
It's,
They're going in,
but a
man.
pirate ship in the back. There ain't no sense.
Shit was
Yo, don't hate.
Oh,
Yo,
there
I'm
will be
gonna
hate.
have to play that tonight.
There will be hate.
Take you for a ride, man. Take you
We're gonna take it for a ride.
That game has the weirdest soundtrack.
what game is this? Is this Jet Grind? Because it should have been Jet Grind.
The weirdest soundtrack.
funny as hell, man.
Oh, man.
I can't even.
No, but
we need to do another
Katana
podcast
still-
about music.
Katana
period.
Zeros
still the
is
best
in
in the
my
series,
is in
though.
my top.
Katana
10.
Zeros. It's
That is in my
incredible
top 10.
soundtrack.
First of all, the game itself is
Awesome
like,
soundtrack.
is the gameplay is awesome, but the soundtrack
So-
and the gameplay both together, perfect mix.
It's a
Perfect mix.
one of those.
Nier Automata is my top. And
I hear a lot
can't,
about that.
I can't
In my
pick
top
entire soundtracks. I can pick moments from games. And
You
I
got
was
Halo.
Like, yo.
Yo, he said you got Halo, man.
Halo's considered one of the top.
He waved the
soundtracks.
hand at him. He said you got
Right?
Halo.
Is it not considered one of the top soundtracks?
Wow.
Halo song? Oh.
Anyway,
The disrespect.
All right, y'all.
The disrespect. Yo, the disrespect was so real there.
Oh my god.
I want to say
shout out to the chat. Thank y'all for
yes,
watching.
guys.
yes. I want to
As
shout out
always.
to everybody who's been
guy.
watching. Thank you so much. There's a lot of other YouTube channels out there, and you guys decided to watch us. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it all the time.
Make sure you subscribe to our channel so you don't miss this
And
live.
yeah,
you
you
get the
won't miss
notifications, and you don't miss this live every Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time,
Eastern.
on YouTube, and follow us on all our social media as well, so you get all those updates. Until next week.
Oh, we got a special guest next week too.
We got a special.
Yeah, buddy.
We got a special guest.
Oh, let me drop a hint.
Uh-oh.
You know I gotta stay frozen
Uh-oh.
like this.
And when you watch it, you want to make sure that it doesn't glitch out.
Uh-oh.
You like that, right?
Oh,
you
no,
like that?
pretty good. I
You
like that. All right, peace.
All right, peace.